right. Hey guys, how you doing?
All right. What's up, Danny?
Welcome.
Happy Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
Oh, the reunion thing tonight.
Yeah. I was thinking about going, but that Omicron crap, it just I don't feel like doing
Yeah.
anything.
I had a couple friends already. One, Tammy, she was in the hospital for 3 days. That's it's not good.
They keep changing the party place too. 1 minute it's at one, every year it seems like they're going somewhere different, and it seems like it's getting further and further away from the school.
I wonder why that is.
I know for a while it was at it was across the street, of course, but then it moved to Toyota Park.
Yeah. Now it's at some new complex somewhere.
Yeah, in Bedford. It's probably because of Brady, because Brady's I think he's still the mayor there. You know who Brady is, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He would call me Richard when he was mad at me.
Yeah.
Richard. That's man.
Man, I remember we used to go up to what's the pizza joint on Archer there?
Archer.
That little pizza place. It's a bar, pizza joint.
Archer and what?
63rd there.
Oh, yeah, I forgot the name of it.
But we used to go in there and you couldn't even get in. I mean, it was like wall to wall people just, you'd sitting there and it was like you were kind of just like barely could move. And
is that the one that was connected to the bar?
Yeah.
Rick should know that. He knows all the bars.
I can't think of the name of it.
What was the bar's name?
There was a pizza bar on 63rd and Archer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was more on Archer. It was about a block off of Archer. Not a block, two and a half buildings.
Oh, I know. It's over by that where they made the
wasn't it something in some's bar? It was two names.
They had my brother worked at that factory right there next to it, where they make the push-up containers.
It's like right down the street from Melfaro.
Well, closer to 63rd or 63rd, yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not
think of it now.
It's somebody's name. It's the guy's name, I think. But anyway, we used to go in there after the basketball game because nobody wanted to go to the VFW, so we used to go down
I plugged Dina's bar all over the place for it.
Yeah, I seen that.
It's a fun bar. Have you ever been there? It's a fun place. It really is.
I haven't been to a bar since I've been to the ones in Nashville. Those are the last ones. And then the bars that I've been in Chicago was probably my brother's bar in Hickory Hills. I went there a couple times.
What bar did he have?
I got it.
What bar did he have, Dan?
The Sock? The Dirty Sock?
No, never heard of it.
It's called Chester's.
Oh yeah, Chester's. Yeah, that's the pizza place. It's a bar pizza place.
Evil Knievel used to drink there.
Oh really? Are you making shit up?
Back in the day. Huh? What? I didn't get that.
I said, really? Or are you just making shit up?
No. He drank at Chester. He drank at Bubba's too.
Right before he crashed.
Yeah, you know what? He might have been hammered a couple times. I know I'd have to be jumping that much. So
I gave Dan the topic of places that we've traveled to, places we've been. So I don't know if you guys want to, go with that, or if you want to change it and go with something else.
Let's do it. Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know if we're going to keep it just within the U.S. or we're going to go outside.
No, anywhere that anywhere you think has got a cool story behind it, or just a cool place.
Well, go ahead, Rich, because you've probably traveled the furthest.
Rio de Janeiro. 11 days of paradise. Oh yeah, man. Work sent me there to set up some machines for Coca-Cola. That was fun.
Wow.
All I remember is obrigado and I think that's pretty much. I remember a couple of their names, a couple of the secretaries. They were.
You don't remember the language. You just remembers their names.
Oh my God, dude! It was just like, and all you had to do was smile at them, and they'd be giggling like little schoolgirls. Man, you'd be like, "Damn, Gringo is, I'm famous here." But the beaches were nice too. We stayed right on Copacabana Beach.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nice, man. It was really nice. But it was funny because there's no EPA there. And every morning it was burned. Your eyes would burn so bad because they're in a little valley there anyway.
Oh.
All the lead in the air. And I mean, oh my God, it was terrible.
So
it
they
reminded
get
me when I was a kid.
Well, that's like California. California used to get hammered with the smog
They still
because
get that.
of, well, not as much. It used to be really bad. Like you're
Yeah.
just saying, like your eyes would water and stuff. But it's because of air movement. You had the mountain ranges that were around it, and you didn't have, and all that smog would get caught. And in
Yeah.
the valley, it would do the same thing.
Yeah. In California too, mornings it freaked me out because it looked like it was going to thunderstorm. And everybody said, no, that's just the sea fog. Don't worry about it. So, yeah. I could sit here and talk for 3 days about where I've been.
Yeah.
I almost wrecked a rental car once. We did, I got a few extra machines in the Stroh Brewery because of the summer places I'd taken them.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They wanted one machine. I got home and there was 4 they wanted. But yeah. It was fun, man. I enjoyed it. But everybody thinks travel, when you're working for travel, it's all fun and games. It sucks, man. You got to make the airport in time. You got to make this meeting in time. You got to get there in time. Hopefully if you stayed long enough, you had a weekend, and they'd still pay you, because I was hourly when I did that. So I had, the time I left my hotel room till the time I got back was when I was on the clock.
What was your actual job?
I'd R&D. I'd set up new machinery products and stuff.
Like
for,
physically do it,
IPW.
or you had a crew that worked with you?
I'd have a maintenance guy there and a salesperson. I had to convince the plant manager and shit that it wasn't going to shut them down any. Sometimes it did. And boy, you talk about rage. Yeah, these guys aren't fun. They're not fun to be around. Yeah. Well, they sent one from Alsip. They sent him for sensitivity training. It was that bad. This
Wow.
guy was bad, man. He looked at me and one morning he says, "Who are you and what the are you doing in my plant?" I says, "I'm here to test this." He said, "Nobody told me about this shit." So here we go. So, and we did shut him down for 20 minutes and Satan himself was standing on the floor. So, but Brazil was nice. It really was,
Yeah, I've never
volleyball.
been down there.
The only thing that I didn't like about traveling out of country is the price of beers and the Monopoly money they gave you.
Oh, really? They
Yeah.
gave you the weird money?
Oh, it was, like in Hong Kong, I got a pocket full of all this Monopoly money. So I just leave it on the bar and say, whatever this gets us.
Right.
We were there till 4 a.m. one night. I don't know. I put about $480 of their money down on the bar. So we had a good time that night.
What was the exchange rate? Do you remember?
7-1, I think.
Like ours was worth
That
more?
was in Brazil. So Brazil was 7-1. In Hong Kong, it was probably a little over, this way or that way, because they're pretty close on the dollar.
On the dollar?
Because in Hong Kong, they do use like sort of a dollar. It's based on the dollar. Yeah. But Brazil, it was, we had the traveler's checks. I gave them $1,000 traveler's check, and I needed a suitcase for the money they gave me.
Did they think you were buying a house?
No, but it's funny when you travel and you're like that and you go through customs coming back. I always got pulled over. Always. Looked like a drug dealer coming back from Brazil, right? I had my Armani jacket on, my Harley hat, shorts and work boots. And chicken whammy. She looks at me and goes, "Come here." I said, "Oh, here we go." She's like, "What do you got in that suitcase?" I said, "A bunch of dirty clothes, some really stinky underwear, and a big statue of Jesus." And she goes, "Ha ha ha." I said, "Open it up." She did, man. And she got and there's Jesus looking at her like this.
With his hand
Made
on
out of
his nose?
Brazilian beechwood. I bought it for my mom for Easter. And she goes, "Have a nice day." I said, "You too." I'd go wash your hands. and never ask him. I was grumpy coming back once, and I gave her my passport. It was all bent and shit, you know. And she goes, "What do you do for a living?" I said, "I work." "What do you do?" "Nah, wrong." I was in my underwear in this strange blue room.
Like that wasn't another day, just another day for you.
I said, "What are we doing?" You know, I felt like Beavis and Butthead, or Butthead, when he got searched in the ambulance.
I don't
You don't
remember
remember that scene?
No.
Huh?
No.
The ambulance driver molested him. He had one sock hanging off his foot. He looks at her and goes, "Hey, did we just do it?" Where have you been? Anybody out of country?
I
No.
I went to London for a few days. I think it was
How
like
was
4 or
that?
5 days. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pleasure sort of business, a business that I didn't get paid for. My nephew
Oof.
was doing a play there. He was going to the University of London, and
Okay.
he wrote a play and was putting it on, and I was going to record it for him.
Oh, nice.
So I went there with my brother-in-law, and it was right after the 9/11 attack. So we got our flights to go there.
Mhm.
There and back was like $375
That ain't bad.
because no one was flying.
Yeah.
Hardly anybody was flying. So it was cool. We didn't do a lot of sightseeing because we were busy doing stuff that had to do with the play. But what I found interesting about it the most is like 100-year-old building is new there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Their buildings
Yeah.
are hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
And it would
Did
probably
you get to Abbey Road?
No, like I said, we pretty much, I don't even think we rented a car. We took the tube, which is like their subway,
Uh-huh.
and then we just walked.
Did you catch yourself looking the wrong way before you crossed the street there at any time?
No, I mean,
You know how you're taught left and then right? Well, we did that in Hong Kong the first time, and we almost got killed because they drive the other way.
Well, where we were at, it's really old. They still had the cobblestone streets. And when these were all built and all these buildings were put in place, it was for horse and buggy.
Yeah.
So the streets are super narrow and they're only one way. But what I thought the neatest part of it was how old everything was. And it still, was functional. And how, like I say, the roads were so narrow that, you could barely fit a car down them. That's why they charge you so much to go and, drive London, because they want to keep cars out of there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting.
But they've got, we were there, long after the whole IRA attacks and stuff.
Yeah.
From the 1970s. You
10 Downing Street.
Yeah. But what I found strange was this was right after 9/11. And when we got off the plane in Heathrow, is it Heathrow Airport?
Heathrow, yeah.
Yeah. All of the guards in the airport had machine guns.
Oh, yeah.
And I never seen any cops or soldiers in our airport. I mean, now you probably see them because of,
Oh yeah.
we live in a mess now.
Yeah.
But back then it was they were so, because Europe is so, there's so many countries there, they take their security super serious with machine guns, and it's not just cops.
No.
It's a lot of army guys.
Special forces.
Yeah, whatever they were, but
Yeah.
I enjoyed it though. How about you, Mike? Okay, go ahead. Whoever.
No, when you were saying about security, it was the same deal when I landed in Rio, because they forgot my luggage at O'Hare. It never left.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, this sucks, because I don't speak Portuguese. So I saw the guy in the red jacket, American Airlines, and I said, "Do you speak English?" He goes, "Yes, very well, thank you." I said, "Thank you, man." I said, "I got my luggage," and they got guards, the army guys, sitting in the terminals there with their M16s, like you said, and there's tanks on the streets there. When we were going to Coca-Cola a couple mornings, there's a tank coming. Everybody had to pull to the side because they don't stop.
They don't have to.
They don't stop. They'll run you over. So yeah, that was kind of a culture shock there, man. When you see a Abrams tank coming down the street, and he's loaded too. So
wow. Yeah, that's pretty neat.
It is
Scary neat, but still neat.
But I got a $250 voucher from him too, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, but none of the clothes in Brazil fit me. Their extra large is a lot different than the American fat ass eating McDonald's all day extra large.
You have to go to the tent store there.
I could not. I got the extra large jeans. I went with the sales gal darkly. I said, I got to get some clothes, man. I don't know when my stuff's going to get here. So I got the XX large jeans, and I couldn't even get my calves set up. I said, this sucks. Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty bad. But they know you're from Chicago down there. That's pretty cool. They think you're a gangster. They do.
Well, aren't we?
Pretty much, yeah.
So
what about you, Michael? Where you been?
Well, Florida a few times, Arizona.
Got family down there?
No. Me and a friend used to go down there quite a bit. We used to go down.
The Keys? You go to the Keys or?
We were at the Keys once, mainly around Cocoa Beach, Cape Canaveral. We would go down for like 2 weeks. A couple of times we went down to see the shuttle and missed them. They had delays on the shuttle, and
I saw that from a fishing boat one morning. That was pretty cool.
The Keys were pretty cool though. If you're like, mainly you go down there, I guess there's a lot of fishing and stuff, which, neither one of us were interested at the time. So, but it's kind of cool going to, some of those bars. I don't know even if they're still around, but Hog's Breath or whatever it was called. And
that's still there.
Is it?
My cousin was just there a couple of weeks ago.
A lot of rooftop parties at the Keys. You'd be hearing all this music, like, where's it coming from? And then you'd see signs, parties upstairs, So we'd just be like, okay, let's go check it out. And you'd go up there and they didn't care who you were, have a drink.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then people riding their bikes and stuff up and down, whatever that street's called, Bourbon Street or whatever. Where else were we?
Did you go to Margaritaville? It's right on the last key, Key West, I think it is.
Yeah, whatever that strip is, whatever the main strip is. But the water is beautiful, crystal clear. You can see the stingrays just swimming right past you. It's kind of cool. So the crappy part is when you're in Florida and you got to go over that bridge. When we went, they were building the new bridge. So we were on the old bridge, and it's like, you're thinking, okay, there's our car and then there's the other lane for the other cars, and then it's just water on both sides, and it's what 7 miles, I think it's called. And
Yeah, it's a long bridge.
you're and we're in a convertible, so we got the sun beating down on us.
And it's shark infested waters down there too.
But yeah, the Keys were cool. Cocoa Beach is cool. Miami was okay. Fort Myers was pretty nice. Cape Coral, it's a pretty nice area. We went down there. Me and my daughter went down there to see a friend. And I don't know. I think it's weird because the East Coast beaches are different than the west side of the state. Everyone says the East Coast or the east side of the state is dirty. I don't know. I think they still got some nice areas over, on that side, but it's weird because like some beaches are all white sand, and then the other ones are kind of like the ones like we have here at Lake Michigan.
Diaper infested with cigarette butts.
A lot of seaweed and stuff, those crabs that bite your toes.
Oh yeah.
And it's weird because the water too, because of the Cape, with all the ships coming out, the water's all dirty, and and then you go to like Miami, whatever, and it's like crystal clear. And so it's kind of cool checking out both sides to see what each side of the state has. And I mean, for me, going anywhere was fun. It didn't matter what side of the state I was on. Hawaii was cool.
Snowing.
Right. Hawaii was cool. We did a 7-day cruise. If you ever want to do Hawaii, do the cruise. That's probably the best way to see all the islands. We got to attend a luau in Maui. That was a lot of fun. We went on a submarine trip. They take you down. I forgot how many feet we went down, and it's really
You're
neat
actually inside a submarine.
Yeah, it's like a real tiny.
I could do that.
Well, they're actually smaller.
I'd be wigging out.
It's weird. I don't remember the size of it, but I mean, it only held like about 6-7 people, and they take you down and.
Yeah. Fuck it. No.
But yeah, and then when we were on the ship the first night, there was an active volcano, and you could see the lava coming down, going into the water.
Oh wow,
and,
neat.
Yeah, it was really pretty.
Gonna grab some marshmallows.
Well, we didn't get that close, but
No. Could you feel the heat?
No, we weren't that close to it.
Okay.
The scary part about being on a ship is when there's a storm.
That's not fun.
No, but we were drinking, so you take the pills for this, for the seasickness, and then you drink.
Like doing beaners.
So by 2-3 a.m., you're pretty tanked.
Yeah.
So you go to sleep, and the next morning, everyone's saying, "How did you feel?" We're like, "What are you talking about?" They're like, "Didn't you hear the storm?" We're like, "What storm?" And so those pills knock you out. They're supposed to be.
Hell yeah, they do. You can drink a lot more on them though.
What is it? Dramamine or something like that?
Yeah. They've got them for airplanes too, that you can take. And that was weird being on the ship, and you kind of feel a little rocking sensation, but the cruise thing is the best way to go. All the food you can eat, the buffets,
See, that would scare me, man. All the food.
Well, the bar bill.
I'd be in nothing but sweatpants,
The bar bill scared us because you don't pay for anything till the end.
Oh.
So all your excursions and all your you pay for some stuff up front, but like the bar is separate. That's your separate bill. So you pay that at the end.
Oh, what was your bill? Like $1,000?
Oh my God. It's easy to just sit there and drink for like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, and then you get hammered and you're thinking it's free. You're buying the whole boat, a beer and a shot.
Yeah. And then if you do an excursion, then that's extra. And then if you take pictures, then that's extra because they got all your pictures that they took, and then you pick out the ones you like. But yeah, that's the scary part when you're getting ready to leave and they're like, your bill, sir. Kind of like the kid in Home Alone.
And you really can't get off that boat till you pay, right?
Exactly. Yep.
So you can't just, party and run.
No, no. So you meet some interesting people. The thing is when we booked it, we're thinking we're going on a cruise with like people our age. We're hoping, and we're kind of sitting around and we're looking at, watching everybody, and all these groups are together and looking at each other. We're like, they don't look like they're in their 20s. So we happened to go ask someone, we're like, hey, who you guys here with? It was some type of convention. It was all people 40 and up. And we're like, this ain't a single cruise? They're like, no, this is a.
Did you go cougar hunting?
Because they have a captain's dinner one night where you have to dress up real nice. So, but we met some people from where were they from? Winthrop Harbor, which is kind of up towards Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So there were some Illinois people there that we talked to. But Maui was really nice. Kona was okay. The big mountain, Maui, or was it okay, what's the big island?
Honolulu.
Honolulu. Kauai was, you don't really get to stay long, and that's the bad thing, because if there's stuff that you like to do, you're kind of like hurry up because the ship will take off.
So you're on a fixed schedule.
Yeah. So if you're not back, they'll leave you. They'll just.
Well, that ain't a bad thing, is it? If you're stuck in Hawaii for a couple weeks,
I guess. Well, the neat part was,
and they still got your bill too, so don't worry about
it. Yeah. So part of the package was you could either do 2 days, on the ground before, or 2 days after. So we're like, well, let's do the 2 days after. So then you get to pick and choose. You can either go to the Pearl Harbor thing, or you can go do some other stuff. So we stayed at a hotel, decent hotel on the Big Island, and it was in October, right around Halloween. So we went walking around the one night, and we see all these people just dressed up in costumes, and they're walking up and down the streets. They're drinking. They got the streets blocked off. There's people driving, honking, it was like a little Mardi Gras, and it was really cool. And of course, a few people would come up to you and ask you how you are, and is there something we could do for you? And
did that go on the bill too?
No, no, this was after we already paid the initial.
Oh, okay.
Payment. Okay. But they're real free and willing to go out there, man. They'll come right up to you and be like, hey, how you guys doing? Want to go for a walk? And
all I can think of when you say that now is Burgess Meredith in that one movie, Grumpy Old Men.
Yeah.
When he's talking to what's her name.
All right. So, but yeah, if you ever get a chance to do it, I don't know about cruises now, but back then that was what, 93 we went. I just don't like being in an airplane for 8 hours.
Yeah, we did it. We did a couple of cruises, but they were short ones. They were like Bahamas and I forgot where else, but it was only a few days here and there. I did like Hawaii though. Hawaii was awesome.
Yeah, the weather was great. Like I said, they had the storm the one night, but other than that, it was beautiful, for October. I don't know if it's hurricane season or.
And I never realized until I went there that Hawaii is not, I used to think of Hawaii because I've never been there and I really didn't know anybody that's been there, but I always thought Hawaii was always hot. It's a island and it's hot and sand. And
Gilligan's
stuff.
Island.
But it turns out that the island, like the temperature, what's such a big draw on that is it doesn't get really hot or really cold. It's like the perfect temperature. I think the lowest that ever goes is about 50, and then the highs are like upper 70s. So it don't get into the 80s and 90s. You know what I mean? You've got all that water that keeps the temperature like perfect. But I did find, talking about the smog thing, we were on Honolulu, and they've got the big mountain range there, and I was there for a Habitat for Humanity build, and I was filming that with Max, and where the house was that we were working on was in one of the big valleys, and we would drive. It took us about half hour, 45 minutes to get there from the city wherever we were at. I guess that was Honolulu City or whatever. But anyways, once we got there, it would like be sunny, but then all of a sudden it would like start pouring.
Mm-hmm.
And then it like did it like every day. And I guess what it is it's got its own weather pattern. This mountain range that encompasses this valley makes it so it rain. And the reason why we were building this house was the houses, because it rains so much, the houses only, if they're made out of wood, they only last 20 years and then they rot away.
Hmm.
I mean, think about that. I mean, there's homes around here that are, over 100 years old, with no problem.
Right.
But yeah, they last about 20 years because of the rain and moisture.
Yeah.
Yeah, because where are they going to get their bricks and stuff, right?
Well, everything that is on an island has to be shipped there.
Yeah.
Because they don't really manufacture much. Pineapples, they could build it out of pineapple, like
Coffee.
SpongeBob.
There's a couple other plants there they grow are pretty hardy. I've never been to Hawaii though. I don't know.
Yeah, Hawaii's been known to grow some kind of, herbs and stuff.
Strange vegetation.
Yeah. And it's kind of weird because you think of Hawaii, you're thinking, the food's not going to be the greatest. It's going to be stuff that you're not going to like. The food was.
You guys have both been there, right?
Yes.
Any restaurants?
I couldn't remember any of them. I've been to some of them, but I couldn't remember their names.
I mean,
was there a lot of spam being consumed?
A lot of what?
Yeah.
Spam.
No, none where we were at.
Really? Because they're still their number one meat in Hawaii is spam.
Well, you know what? I'm not surprised, only because Hawaii is kind of like California in the fact that there's a lot of homeless people that live there. And you're either ultra rich or poor. There's not a whole lot of middle class.
The spam was from the military. Specially processed American meat.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
That's why they're so big on spam over in Hawaii, because of the Americans in the military.
I never knew that was an acronym.
Yeah, it's specially processed American meat.
They didn't serve that on the boat.
No.
They did. They did, but it was for the dogs.
But I tried that poi, and that stuff's nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it like a sloppy mush that you'd feed the pigs? Yeah.
Yeah. The pig was actually the best. That was good, man. They put that pig, in the ground over those banana leaves, and they cook it for what?
18 hours? Yeah.
Something like that. Oh.
That skin is man.
That luau was the bomb, man. If you ever get a chance to do a luau,
you know what? We ought to do that this summer out here, man. I'll dig a pit in the backyard and we'll have a pig roast.
We used to have one. Well, my older brother used to have big parties, and I'm not exaggerating. They would have, 50 to, 150 people come to him, and he was a musician. So he had all his musician friends, and we'd set up stages and they would play, and it would be like a day and a half event.
Like a mini Woodstock.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
It was, but they would always do a pig and a lamb.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff's good. That's the best.
Good eats, man.
On, Ben to Graceland.
That was nice there.
see, Arizona, went down there. My sister had a place down there, so
Whereabouts?
Scottsdale.
Okay, that's a nice area.
Yeah.
Now
So
that's
we go
hot.
to, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That
it'd be
shit
like
gets really
85 degrees like at 10 o'clock.
yeah. And don't walk barefoot on the asphalt.
No.
California has some of the weirdest weather that I've ever seen. Like at night, it would drop down into the 40s.
Yeah.
And then by 10 o'clock the next day, it was like 80.
Yeah.
So, when we would go to, they didn't have really good furnaces there. A lot of it was electric heat. And a lot of times they wouldn't even turn the heat on. And because by the time you warmed everything up, you would have to turn the air conditioning on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was strange because when you went to bed, you were not sweating, you were fine. But by the time, 4 or 5 in the morning rolls around, you're cuddling up to those sheets and blankets.
Where's the dog?
Yeah. And then, like I said, by 10 o'clock the next day, you're like, oh man, I can't believe how hot it is.
Yeah.
But I guess
So
it's a desert, and that's what deserts do.
Yeah.
Right.
Their temperature fluctuates a lot.
So we drove from the Phoenix area to San
Gotta get
Diego.
some coffee, guys.
So we drove from Phoenix area to San Diego in a convertible with no air conditioning.
Wow.
So we're going down, I guess, I don't remember the road, but it's not Death Valley, I don't think. But I'll tell you, once you got into the San Diego area, if you didn't drive their speed, they'd run you over. You get on that Interstate 4 or whatever it is, and if you didn't do 75, 80 miles an hour, man, they'd just be honking and cussing at you. And it's like, I was driving, I didn't know where I was going. I'm like just kind of looking around for places. It's crazy out there. They got 6 lanes.
Oh yeah, I was just about to get into that one because I used to spend a good amount of time out there, and they got 6 lanes in each direction.
Yeah.
And we were on there one time, and everybody was doing, like you said, 75, 80 miles an hour. I mean, everybody was. There was no such thing as a slow lane. And a cop came on from one of the ramps, turned his lights on, and then just started zigzagging all 6 lanes until everybody slowed down till about 20, and then he just pulled right off. So all he was doing was slowing people down. He wasn't giving anybody tickets.
Right.
It was the strangest thing to see that, though.
And that's another thing. The beaches in California too are a little bit different than the Florida side. The water is a little bit colder.
Oh, a lot colder, if you ask me. I think it's more salty too.
Yeah, because like I said, we spent a night in San Diego, and we went down by the beach, and it was just, I was like, this is California. It's freezing out here, But I wasn't really crazy about it. I don't know if I'd go back. That whole LA thing, and I don't know if I'd go back to anywhere.
I liked it for about 5 days, at a time. Normally, that's what I would go, like a 3-day stretch, 5-day stretch. The longest I was there was, I think, 7 days. But after 7 days, you want to get back to Chicago. It's a whole nother time. I'm not talking about what do you call that when you go from a different time zone?
Right.
What I mean by this, the like a time structure is people don't start doing stuff until about 10 in the morning. And then they don't stop doing stuff until 1 in the morning. You know what I mean? Nobody gets up at 6 in the morning and goes to work. They start at around 10 o'clock and then they don't stop till 1 in the morning.
Well, they do a lot more
Wild.
partying than we do too,
Yeah, they do.
because
Absolutely.
it doesn't snow there. And the weather's always nice.
Well, I was with Max one night and we went to it was a fundraiser party. I'm trying to think whose it was. It was in Tarzana, California, which is like not too far from Malibu.
It's expensive.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Very, very expensive. The guys, the guy who built it, John Huston. You know who John Huston is?
The director, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, he did most of the John Wayne movies.
That's Angelica Houston's dad.
Correct, absolutely. But we was on the Houston estate, okay, for this fundraiser. It was
How was that?
fucking awesome.
Dan dropped an F-bomb.
No, it was. We pulled up there and there was like this like paparazzi kind of thing. It wasn't paparazzi, it was actually, when you go to these parties, they have like sponsors. And they have like the thing where when you walk by, they stop you and they take your picture and they have their logo in the background. So whoever was sponsoring this area was some kind of water or something. But anyways, that's like the beginning of it. And so we walk into the party. It's just starting. We were there kind of early, actually. And it was just on the verge of getting dark. So we're just kind of walking around it. And I seen, I forgot the guy's name, but he was the doctor from the Love Boat. He was in the
Gavin no, I know who you're talking about. Gopher.
Not Gopher, the doctor.
No, you're thinking the old guy with the glasses.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
Yeah.
But he was there playing tennis with somebody in their in the shorts doing that. And the house itself was the coolest thing I ever seen. It was like two houses, right? And then connected. In the main entrance to this house, you would walk through and you're thinking, okay, I'm in the main entrance. I'm going to go into the house. Well, you open the door. It's a big double door. You open the door and you are walking into a big outdoor swimming pool that had a waterfall.
Nice.
And yeah, it was like really cool. But then there would be like I said, the two houses. Then you could go this way and be in this house. You can go this way and be in the other house. But it was like two houses connected by this enclosure that looked like it was part of the house, but it's actually just covering. It was only covering the pool by like 1.5 sides. You know what I'm saying? Like the front was completely covered, connecting the houses. But then the pool was big enough to where it went out into the yard. And that's where the waterfall was.
Did you find out who the architect was?
No, it was built a long time ago because it was, this was 2005-ish, maybe 2006 when I was there. And one of the coolest things is, and you'll know why I really enjoyed this, they had a train set, and this was probably built for Angelica because it was big enough that you could ride on.
Wow. Oh man!
The tracks were probably 16 inches apart, so it was big enough to where you could sit on this train and go around their property. Keep in mind, this was acres of property, and it was built like in an area of, you know what a bluff is, right? It's like a small mountain area. So they had this train that was going over these bridges where they had these gorges. So you would, I mean, if you fell off the train, you'd be screwed.
Angelica Railroad.
Yeah,
man.
It was a regular railroad, and where you parked the train when you weren't using it was actually in the mountainside. They actually did a tunnel. They had these big doors.
Tell me that kid wasn't spoiled.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly. And I'm not sure if John Huston had any more kids. That's why I'm thinking that must have been for Angelica Houston.
Man,
But
did
that
you get
was
to
one
ride it?
No, it was it wasn't running for years.
No.
Unfortunately, I didn't get any pictures of it. But know who I met there though? I met Steven Seagal.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So we're out in the it was an outdoor party, by the way. So we're outside, and it's now it's dark, and there's just there's like lights, party lights all over the place, and we see this big ass guy, and he's got two little women, one on each arm, walking through the party, and he was so big that he stood out from everyone else. And as he walked up, he had two twin I don't know if they were Asian, two
The-
twin Asian girls, one on each arm.
Dude, was it the twins from Austin Powers?
I don't know who they were,
Oh my God.
but he was pretty cool. He didn't like people snapping shots at him, with the camera, because he was at a party, and it was dark, and it's hard to
He
see.
probably kicked your ass too.
Yeah, well, he was, like I said, he was cool, but he just wanted people not to do that.
Yeah.
But he was talking to everybody. But it was a benefit for one of the guys we met while we were in Hawaii. His name is John Cicilliano, and he's a Paralympian. I think I told you about him, right? Or not?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, John Cicilliano is a Paralympian. He lost his leg in an accident when he was 20-something years old. It got crushed. He was in a Jeep, and I'm not sure if the Jeep fell over or during the accident, but his leg from the knee down got crushed off. And he was like devastated, obviously when you're that young.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that, he hooked up with somebody, and they, kind of turned his life around. And he actually became a Paralympian. And he was on Wide World of Sports. And the reason he was on there was at the beginning of Wide World of Sports, it was always started out as, the thrill of victory and agony of defeat.
Yeah, the guy falling down the mountain.
Yeah, well, exactly, with all that stuff. Well, he was running one of his races, and his prosthetic leg fell off.
Oh shit!
And he chopped back there and grabbed it and ran through the finish line. So hopping through the finish line. So he didn't stop and put it back on. He just grabbed it and then ran, hopped through it. And that was actually part of the video that they used to play.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he's an actor. He's actually an actor. He does I talk to him every now and then. But very cool guy. He does plays and stuff. A few years ago, well, it's probably 10 years ago now, but he was doing a play in Chicago, and we went to see him while he was there. But he does a lot of I don't know if you call them cameos, but he does like one or two shows. You know what I mean? Where he'll be, his character will be I don't think he's on anything regularly, but he was on like a soap opera for a while, but I'm not sure which one.
Very cool.
But
so did you guys have any bad travel issues or horror stories?
We did actually. Well, if you guys are done, I'll tell you mine.
You go first, because I got about 4 hours worth of them.
All right, I'll just this one's not. This one's a fast one, and that's why I'll never do it again. So we when we used to go to Florida a lot. We used to go to Disney a lot. We've probably been to Disney 20 times, and that's not even exaggerating. Because we used to take the kids there every year, and we used to go there every year before the kids were born. But anyhow, on the way there, it would have been before the kids were born. Yeah, definitely before the kids were born, because I don't remember them in the airport. It was a layover flight. layover. I don't know where you got to change.
Yeah,
planes.
layover.
Yeah, where you got to
Yeah.
change planes. So pull out of Chicago. We get down to I think it was Atlanta.
Oh yeah, the horror airport.
Yeah, and what happened was it had iced. It was like an ice storm, and in order for us to land, we had to keep going around until they got it safe for us. So we were up in the air, instead of an hour or whatever it would be, 45 minutes, I think it is a flight. We were up there for like an hour and a half. So we finally landed, and the plane that we were supposed to get on left already. So we were in the airport for like 8 hours just trying to get a flight to get us from, Atlanta to Orlando.
Damn.
It was ridiculous.
I would have rented a car.
Yeah, well, the problem was it was icy.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. They don't have the plows and stuff down there.
No, that's the thing. And we asked about it, and they said, "Oh no, this hardly ever happens." So when this happens, we kind of
Everything
just roll with
shuts down.
it.
Yeah, that sucks.
Well, my horror story was kind of almost like it was set up as a movie. I went down to Florida for a couple of days, and it was right around 4th of July weekend. So the person that I was with decided that they were going to stay a few extra days. So I had to fly home by myself. Well, I mean, I was used to flying, so it didn't bother me much. So, and when you go to the Orlando airport, they've got those shuttle bus, those shuttle things.
Right. Yeah.
One to take you out and one to bring you in. Well, you got to make sure you get on the right one, because if you're leaving to go to the terminal to get your flight, you got to make sure you're on the right one. So I'm standing there and I'm like, okay, crap, which one do I get on? So I get on the first one, and I hear the announcement say, "Oh, welcome to Orlando." I go, shit.
Oh shit.
So I quick jumped off, and I finally got on the right one. So it takes you, to the terminal for out, going out. So we wait for we wait to board and everything. We get on the plane, and it's probably, I don't know, 7, 8 o'clock around that time. And plane starts to take off, and, we're cruising along. All of a sudden, someone looks out the window and says, "Hey, you see the flames?" And we're like, "What?"
Oh,
We're like,
God.
"Yeah, look, one of the engines was on fire."
Oh
Oh,
wow.
my God.
So the captain gets on, he's like, "Okay," he says, "we got a problem with one of the engines. We're going to taxi around, and we're going to land back at the airport." So here we are, cruising along. We weren't very high up, so he was just able to swing around, and here we are cruising along back down to, the airport. And it was kind of like, it's like you see in a movie. All these fire trucks come, driving to where we were at, The bad thing is they didn't open the chutes, so we couldn't go down the fire chutes,
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I was waiting to go down the slide.
Like Airport
And,
74.
Yeah, one of those, right. So we all get off the plane, the fire, they put out the whatever. So we're sitting at the terminal, and we're waiting to get another flight. And we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting. Now, we don't have our luggage. They didn't bring our luggage.
Man.
People are hungry. They're trying to make, they're trying to call people to say, "Hey, we're sitting there." They're like, "Oh yeah, we got another plane coming." Well, it's 4th of July weekend.
Oh,
How many
man.
planes do you think you're going to get, that late in the night? So it turns out it was almost after midnight, and we're still sitting at the terminal. Finally, they were bringing water, and they were bringing snacks and everything. Well, they put us all in the hotel for the night. But I mean, just the emotions to think of what could have happened on that plane.
Oh, yeah.
You laugh about it now, but to think that that whole, you see how many times when a plane catches fire,
Right.
it could
In the
either,
movies, it's always A disaster.
Bloom.
So that was my only bad, thing on a plane. So I don't really have many others. Everything else was pretty good, except that time driving through the desert with no air conditioning.
Oh God.
We had the engine light was going on, and we were afraid to turn the air conditioning on. So we're in a convertible, and we're just driving through the desert, with no air, and just had the sun beating on our foreheads. And
Oh my God.
it's like 110 or something like that. And we were just hoping we made it to California.
One big blister when you got there.
Well, the one time I had that big red mark across the forehead.
Yeah.
And never wear a gold chain when you're laying out.
Oh no, dude.
I learned the hard way.
You branded yourself.
I did.
Ugh.
I did. I had that bright red, around my neck. I'm like, what the hell is this from?
Have you ever had a pair of shorts on in the middle of summer, August in Chicago, and my pickup truck was parked out front, so the sun was blowing into the window all day, and there was a fucking penny on my seat.
Oh,
that
wow.
was sitting in that roasting sun all day.
You
I
picked it
sat
up?
down on that thing. I was speaking in tongues, running around the parking lot with Abe Lincoln stuck to my thigh. It crispy creamed my thigh, man. I didn't think I could swear that much in 20 minutes, but I did.
Wow.
That hurt. You're not expecting that, man.
So we getting back to planes, we were going to Florida, going to be taken off, and we were boarding probably 20 minutes late to begin with. But it was a straight flight. It wasn't any
Oh man.
But anyway, so it's about 20 minutes late, and they finally let us on the plane. And then we're sitting there for another 20 minutes, and then the captain gets on and says, well, we're having a little difficulty, but we're gonna get it figured out, and we'll be off
My
by
God.
no time at all. He didn't actually say how long. So we had a window seat, and we look out there, and this is not even a joke. One of the motors wasn't starting. They had this, it looked like a big jumper cable set jumping the motor. It was a 2-motor plane, so one of the motors wasn't starting. So they put like a set of jumper cables on it to get it going. And all I kept thinking was, what if the damn thing stops while we're up in the air? Are they going to jump it from up top? But needless to say, we made it there and back. But it was scary to think that.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
I hit that fucking finger mouse again.
Well, you didn't go off, so you're fine.
I can't see you guys though, so I'll just sit here and chill.
You can't see us?
No, I got some crystal clear audio, even if the lingo isn't. What the hell is this shit?
I don't know what you're doing.
There's some sales team here. You want to talk to? No, I don't want to talk to anybody.
And the whole time I thought it was my bandwidth.
No, it's just my fucking finger, man. I hate this thing, man. You know what? I'm gonna close out and come back.
All right.
All right.
All right.
I guess we're not gonna have everybody tonight.
Yeah, I gave up on that an hour ago, so we're good. Now we can't figure out how to close out.
Holy sweet baby.
Come on, Juice.
Yeah.
There we go. Fuck you, man. Oh, sorry, I said that.
It's all right.
I'm getting better at this technical BS.
So you don't have to close out?
No, I don't know what I did, and I did, but I could still hear you.
Well, keep your finger away.
That's right. My ex-wife used to tell me that all the time too. I had to get the porno in for the session, man.
So I've
edit.
never got to experience the East Coast. I've always wanted to try like going up towards Boston and New England area. Have you guys ever went up that way?
I was in Maryland because Danny was there for college.
Okay.
I've been to Virginia. That's really nice there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the horror trip with me was anytime I went to California, it was 15 hours or more coming back. Because I was
Driving
always
or-
a winner. Flying, yeah. It was always a winner. And the last time I had a 7:30
How
flight.
could it be a 15-hour flight?
Because listen, I'm getting to that.
Are they gonna what they do? Push the plane with a car?
They should have, you know what I mean? But no. I get there at 7:30 in the morning. My flight's leaving at 7:45. Well, they canceled that. So I said, okay, I'll wait. Next flight, it'll be 9:30. Okay. Wait. They did this like 4 times. It's 2:00 in the afternoon. And the lady says, oh, the ticket thing, she goes, we can just put you in a hotel. And I said, no, I'll wait. I want to get out of here. You know, I've been here 11 hours now. I might as well wait more. So it finally took off. We're flying around like you. There was ice at O'Hare, and two tropical airlines, Air Mexico and Air Jamaica, went off the runway at O'Hare. And the pilot goes, imagine that, can't drive in snow.
Yeah,
so
right.
we had to circle O'Hare, and then he says, we're running out of gas, so we got to go into Indy, and then we're going to have to get de-iced. Blah, 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 blah. I finally got home. It was 4:30 in the morning, walking into my house. But when we left California, we sat on the runway for about 40 minutes. And there's only like 5 of us on the plane. And the captain comes on when we finally take off. He says, you know, you guys have been most patient, blah, blah, this and that. He said, drinks are on me the whole flight.
Wow.
Holy crap. You talk about getting hammered. And then I'm driving home and I'm thinking, I can't drive. I mean, really, I had to close an eyeball. But lucky for me, it was wet, slippery, icy. So all the swerving I did didn't really matter.
Just look normal.
Yeah. You got a cop behind me. Well, I'm on ice, dude. That was probably the most memorable. Got $100 worth of drinks on the captain.
My sister and brother-in-law, they were in Arizona around 9/11, and they were supposed to come back. They were supposed to come back around that time, and they said hell with it. So they rented a car and they drove straight through, nonstop. They didn't even sleep. They just drove
from Arizona
back to Illinois, nonstop.
That's a haul, man.
They just said, we want to get home, and they didn't want to sleep anywhere. They just took turns driving. They stopped to get, for gas and got coffee and whatever food, and yeah, they just drove. I think it took them like 3 days or something like that, or 2 days or whatever. It was just nonstop driving. I don't know how many miles that.
That's a lot of miles.
Me and Dave Mathai drove from Chicago to I think it was San Diego, straight through. It was an Audi 5000. I worked for a guy and he closed his business down and he needed us to drive his car for him to California. So the deal was that we would go out there, drive his car out there. We could stay for like a week. He would pay for everything and then fly us back for doing the car.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So we drove from Chicago to, like I said, I think it was San Diego. San Diego's the one that's right by Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was San Diego then. And I can't remember how many hours, but we did it all in one shot. And it was, we were cruising though. This was it would have been like 79 or 80 because I met Mary like right after the trip. And I actually got a job offer. The guy offered me a job. I would have been 20 years old, keep in mind. And he offered me like a quality control position with he was opening up a brand new factory in California. He closed the one in Chicago. But I stayed out there for a while and said, nah, this ain't for me. And then I just flew back. But man, it was a fun ride. But it was scary because, are you familiar with the Audis?
No.
Audis are it's a small German car, but they're like really good cars. But most of the way there, even through the desert and everything, we were doing like 80 or 90 miles an hour the whole way. So we made it there definitely in less than 24 hours. But I can't tell you how many hours it was, but it was less than a day.
Wow, that's humping it, man.
Yeah, it was, like I said, but that was mainly Mathai. Mathai, once he drove a lot of the way too. Because I'm not a good driver as far as I get tired real fast.
Heck, I thought driving to Florida was long.
You know what? Isn't that funny though? When you talk about them long rides, and when you're like in your 20s, your teens, and you drive to Florida with a boat or something, it's like, yeah. Then you hit your 30s and you're like, this sucks. Then you hit 45 and you're like, man, am I ever going to get there? You know, you're stopping twice, staying in a hotel. Finally you hit 50 and you say, I'm getting on a plane, man. I'm not driving.
Well, that's because when you're, 50s, 60s, you end up having to stop every 20 minutes to go pee.
No, actually, that was never the problem. The problem was dozing off. So I figured when you drive a long distance and you're old, bring some pickled jalapeno peppers.
Yeah.
Yeah, eat a couple peppers when you're starting to get dozed, and you'll wake right up.
I think we did Florida in 2 days. 10 hours we left here, made it down to Georgia, and then from Georgia we went down to, so it was like 20 hours, 2 days.
I made it in 17 one time. That was flying.
Yeah, I mean, Florida's so big depending on where you're going.
Yeah, Clearwater I
it
made
makes a
17
difference.
hours. Cigarettes, Snickers bars, and coffee. Oh, and a box of Vibrant.
I thought you were going to say in a vibrator.
No, I got there. I didn't sleep for 2 days, man. I had like 80 gazillion milligrams of caffeine in my blood.
The two biggest headaches was going through the mountains in Tennessee and going through Atlanta. That was
Atlanta's a nightmare.
Oh, that if you missed the what do they call that?
The way you drive around it.
Yeah, the bypass.
Yeah, the bypass.
No, we didn't
You're
take.
screwed, man.
We didn't take the bypass. We went right through the.
Oh, I did that once too, man. That sucked.
That made the California traffic look almost like it's okay.
It took me about 2.5 hours to get out of Atlanta doing that.
It was horrible.
Oh my God.
Okay.
It's not fun. Oh.
So
where are the other two?
Sleeping.
I think we should find them.
Maybe they think it's tomorrow.
Maybe we should find them or something.
You know what? I kind of messed up. I should have sent the invitation out yesterday. So they may not even have seen it.
Oh, they should have known about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I told everybody, but
Yeah.
Tracy,
I mean, how could you miss it?
Tracy might have went to that alumni thing.
Well, he said he was thinking about it, but he didn't know for sure. So he might have done that.
We should. I wanted to get a live feed from Fergie's.
Seriously, we could do that sometime.
Yeah.
Invite her on. I'll invite her on, and she could, use a phone or computer or whatever, and she could be part of it.
Yeah, that would be cool. I think that would be nice too for her business.
Yeah, that would be fun to do.
Yeah.
So speaking of,
I got to get there one Wednesday night. Mike, you might want to go too and throw down some karaoke, man.
Yeah.
Do some Pantera and shit, Wake
the
place up.
I don't know about that.
I watched a documentary on Pantera the other day, and it was in their contracts when they went out of town, when they were backstage or anything. There was a certain amount of cases of beer they wanted, certain amount of whiskey.
Wow.
On stage, backstage, at the hotel, in the bus. Yeah. These guys threw down when it came to partying.
So I got a question maybe you guys know about. Last night, I guess there was some kind of banquet somewhere.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook.
What's the distinguished alumni?
I don't know. I saw that.
I'll give you a hint. It's not us.
No shit. We have. What do you have to do to become distinguished, though?
Again, we don't have to worry about it.
Isn't that great, man? There was only like 5 people there, though.
Yeah, but they got like little little plaques or wouldn't,
little distinguished American.
yeah, some
Hey,
type of,
you know what? Next year we should all nominate each other.
We should.
Hey,
We should show up, man. The three amigos.
we're distinguished. We're Dan's Garage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Troy.
we'll get
Maybe you've seen
t-shirts.
us on Closed Circuit TV.
We're famous in our minds.
We should have,
Yeah.
what's her name, make us shirts.
Who?
Trudy.
Oh, Trudy, yeah.
She'll spell my name wrong. Fuck that. I'll go to my grave laughing about that.
What'd she do?
She spelled my name wrong. Remember at the reunion? She spelled my name with a K at the end instead of an H.
Oh, okay.
And then my name tag was the same way. And I didn't notice it till like 3 hours later. Gina goes, well, your name tag spelled wrong too. And I looked right at Bridget and I said, yeah, this wasn't no mistake. This was planned. So that was a fun night though. You guys did a good job on that shit.
Thanks.
Yeah, it was fun.
So did you guys ever travel like when you were younger with your family and stuff? Because we never really went anywhere with my parents.
We would go to Kankakee State Park with my dad and my Uncle Bert in the station wagon. And I remember the one time we went, I was probably about 12. And my cousin Mary brought some peppermint schnapps. So we're all in that back, that rumble seat in the station wagons way in the back.
Yeah.
Swigging this peppermint schnapps at 12 years old, man. And we get to the Kankakee State Park and we're unloading and everything. And my cousin Mary, all of a sudden, man, she just starts spewing out that back window. Ah, like the Exorcist. And Uncle Bert's like, what's the matter with her? And I said, she says she's car sick.
Oh my
12
God.
years old fishing on schnapps in 90-degree weather, man. Oh, that was the start of my downfall.
So when you guys were in Argo, do you remember a class called Environmental Field Studies?
No.
No, we did that at the woods.
Yeah, well, this was a cool class. It was
Was it?
it was a summer school class, and it was, I think it was 6 weeks long. Okay, and you actually got a full credit for it or a half a credit. I can't remember if it was a full or a half, but the class consisted of 4 weeks where you would go around Illinois, and I can't remember. I think we may have went into Michigan too, and you would do environmental field studies. You would go out there and look at bugs and marshes and trees, and you had this little book, and you would pick out trees. And I actually learned a really lot about in those few weeks. But the grand finale of it is you took a 14-day trip to Canada.
Wow.
And you did a canoe trip.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Oh man, keep in mind, you were with sophomores and seniors. I was a sophomore. So your brother didn't do that, did he? Your older brother? Not
Which
Rick.
one?
What's your older brother's name? Steve, right?
Yeah.
He didn't do that, did he?
Well, he did go to Canada, but I don't know if that was just the senior trip. But they did do a Canada trip.
No, I think that was the trip I was on. I think I remember him being there.
Didn't they fall out of the canoe or something?
Somebody did. No, it was a pretty awesome trip. And I think because your brother's a couple years older than I am. One or two.
He was 77.
Okay, so he's only a year older. So it was sophomores, juniors, seniors.
Yeah, I
Because
remember him
freshmen couldn't
saying
go.
they went to Canada and someone fell out of the raft.
Right. It wasn't a raft, it was canoes. They were canoes. But no, we went to Canada together.
Was it a chaperone trip?
Oh yeah. It was.
So there was no alcohol involved.
You couldn't get into trouble because you were literally in the wilderness. You were only at where there was a lodge, and I don't even think they had alcohol at the lodge. I mean, the biggest thing that people did, they were smuggling pot into Canada.
That's not a wasted
That was about
trip,
all
then.
you can do.
That's good.
But it was pretty neat. That whole trip. It was like I think it was, like a day and a half travel there, and then a day and a half travel back, and then
What part of Canada, Dan? Were you in Ontario or?
I can't remember. I can't remember at all. I think we
We
went
used-
in through Michigan, whatever that would be.
Okay.
If we
'Cause
didn't
we
go
used to
through
fish Thunder
Detroit,
Bay
we
up
didn't
there.
go in through Detroit. We went in through, Michigan. So
I'm
whatever.
surprised they let them back in.
Yeah. But ask him about it. Tell him if he remembers me being on that trip with him.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you guys, what'd you do? Fish? Camp? What?
We didn't really have time to fish. It was fun, but it was a lot of work.
Were you
And
doing work for the Canadian government? You didn't know it?
Yeah, right. But what was neat about it, keep in mind this was like this would have been 74, 75, 70, probably 1976, 70, yes, around 76. The water was still clean enough up there to where we didn't bring any water whatsoever with us. When we needed water to cook or drink, we would just take it straight out of the lake and just drink it.
That's gotta be cool.
Yeah.
Drinking moose piss.
But we didn't have like fishing poles or anything like that. I think a couple guys brought fishing poles, but I didn't, just because I didn't want to carry the shit. Because you ended up, no, seriously. It's not like, at the beginning of the day, you wouldn't just say, I'm going to go for a canoe ride. You
Yeah.
actually did this big horseshoe trip with the canoe. And you would go from here to an island, camp out on this island, and then the next morning you would do what they call a portage. Did you ever hear what that is? That's where you take all your shit, your canoe, and you carry it across the island to go into a new lake.
Oh, hell no.
And then you would go, to the next island and do the same thing.
Well, it's like Survivor before it was famous.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. It was called
Eating grubs and shit.
Well, yeah, no, I mean you didn't do that, but like one day we made tea. So what we would do?
What kind of tea?
It was actually from strawberry plants.
Maybe
Strawberry
peyote.
plants. Yeah. Do you remember a teacher called Mr. Muley? He might have been gone by the time you were there because he wasn't there real long.
No.
He was the guy that would always do the trip. He always sponsored it, and he was the. But then one other teacher went along because it was a girl and guy trip. He would be the guy part, and then I can't remember who the woman was.
Miss Lockerbie?
I had no idea.
I think my
You guys
brother
remember her?
Who's that?
Miss Lockerbie?
No.
Yeah, I don't remember that name at all.
I think my brother went just to get out of school.
Well, I went for the credit. It was an easy credit.
Yeah.
My sister went 2 years before me.
So you didn't have to pay for the trip then?
Oh, no, we had to pay for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot
right.
though. It was like $200 or $300 maybe.
Yeah, that's a lot of money back then.
Well, it was, but you got to pay in payments.
Oh, okay.
know
Are
what
you
I
still
mean?
paying on it?
Yeah, right. Yeah. It was only $300, and I only owe like $7,000 now, and I'll be paid off.
Interest. It accrues.
Yeah, I never got to go on my senior trip.
Well, this
We
was
get to
like I
go.
said. This wasn't senior. It wasn't a senior trip.
Right,
It
but
was a
they had
class.
senior trips.
I know
And-
Billy, my brother Bill, went to Hawaii on his senior trip.
I couldn't go. I was in American history class, taking the stupid test.
Who was your history teacher?
The heck was his name? It wasn't the lady, it was the guy.
I had Miss Horton.
Horton? No.
I had Horton.
You had Horton. Who was the guy teacher?
Not the wolf.
No.
No.
This was a black guy.
Oh, I had him. I can't remember his name though. Was it government class? The government class?
Yeah.
That's the one I had to take in my senior year in order to graduate early because it was only a half a year program, half a year class. Right?
Yeah.
I
I think it was a half.
It was a half a year.
Yeah.
And I had to pass government I had 6 classes that during my senior year, and 5 of them were shop classes and then government. So all the shop classes I knew I was going to pass. There was not an issue whatsoever. But the government one, I ended up getting a C. I got straight A's all on my shop, and then I just squeaked by with my my government class.
He was cool though. He was cool. He let us use our notes and everything to take the
I
test.
can't remember his name. He was a younger guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to tell because
right. Well,
when you're young, everyone seems old.
Yeah. He was really cool though. He just like.
Did it start with an F? Maybe something with an F.
No, I thought it was H too. I thought his
Faulkner didn't teach history or government, did he?
No.
He was social studies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's my yearbook? Is it over there?
Was Faulkner a black guy? White guy?
Yeah, he was funny, man.
Yeah.
He was my favorite teacher at Argo.
Well, maybe that's what I'm thinking of, and maybe I didn't.
Yeah,
have
he
him
would
for
teach
that.
class with that little pig, the hand puppet.
I don't remember that actually.
We kidnapped him.
Yeah, I do remember him, and I did have him for class.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
we hung pork chop from the screen rope and tucked it under. So we had a movie Friday, and he pulled the screen down, and out came pork chop.
Oh wow!
With a rope around his neck. Oh man, he went off.
He
He didn't have him for about a week. That pig was missing.
Wow.
Yeah, we were leaving ransom notes on his desk and stuff.
Speaking
Everybody
of Faulkner,
wants A's on the next test. Yeah. I will not. What did he say? He will not fall to our demands, and I want my puppet back. We just start laughing.
Nice.
trying to see social studies.
And now you know why everybody thinks that all Chicagoans are gangsters.
Why? Because we kidnapped a
because you
puppet
kidnap puppets.
pig and demanded A's.
Secretaries.
Then I seen him throw the desk. He threw a desk out into the hallway one afternoon because somebody super glued a nickel to his desk.
What were they affiliated with? What was their title?
They were teachers.
No, I know, but under what category?
Yeah, I don't think it would be history, even though it seems like it should be history.
Government studies, maybe?
I think it's under S. Shit you have to pass to graduate.
Long civil liberties. Try that.
I see Faulkner. He's under English.
Oh, maybe that's where I had him then, in an English class.
Yeah, he was a good teacher.
Not history.
But I don't even see Horton in here.
Really? How can you admit you know it's her.
Social studies. Well, they got. I don't know.
Well, who did the yearbook that year?
I don't know.
Owners.
Yeah. I can't find either one.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Maybe
name
it was
the name the history teachers.
Well, that's what I'm looking for.
Oh, you
I don't
can't
think
even find them?
No.
You
Oh, I
should have
thought
paid
they had 'em
attention in the
broken down.
library. Alphabetical order. H is after J, or I think. E, F, G, H, yeah. G, H, G, H. I went to Argo, man. Give me a break.
Yeah.
I never learned to read.
GH and sometimes I.
G, E. Now you got me all fucked up.
No, they don't have them listed in here.
Are you in the history section?
There is no history.
Oh my God. It's like a bad episode of the Twilight Zone.
Here, I got you got the 82 yearbook handy?
Not really.
I do.
I got the administration, the school board, the counselors, the dean, the library, cafeteria, custodial, nurses, security,
You know, I miss that cafeteria food.
secretaries, applied science, business education,
Jesus.
special education. I don't see either one of them.
Rick,
English-
you can relate to that, right?
Special ed. Yeah, I was in one of the trailers.
English department, home
They're gonna
economics,
teach me how to read.
industrial arts,
All right.
physical education,
All right.
social studies,
Okay.
and that's it.
No history?
No history.
Wow.
They forgot them.
That's weird.
That was the 82 book.
Well, I'm looking.
Who were the
at it
math
now.
teachers then?
They,
had Mr.
Dale,
Mr.
Dale.
Shear?
Oh, Mr. Dale was awesome.
Yeah.
let's
Miss
see.
Christie, she was one.
Hold on. I gotta. Let's see who we got here. English department. Special ed. Mr. Shear, he was considered applied science.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at applied science. That's like a catch-all. Whatever you don't fit somewhere else, that's where they threw you, I think.
Yeah, because he did a lot of aspirins at the water fountain. He always had a headache.
Well, I was gonna say, was he your teacher? That might be the connection.
We had a strange math class, I'll tell you. We had people doing one-hitters by the window. Yeah, I miss high school.
I didn't realize they had that many secretaries. Holy cow.
Really?
Yeah. Now where the heck's the math guys at?
No math and no history? No wonder we're so stupid.
Oh, here's social. I found social studies.
Okay. Same book?
Yeah.
Did somebody pull your pages out, Mike?
Guys, someone screwed him.
Well, I got
Hey,
the social studies.
206.
Yeah. But you're
I
looking
said
for.
you couldn't find it.
There's no history.
You said you couldn't find it? Yeah, you're right. Replay the tape, Dan. Senate hearing.
And there's no math either.
What the? Huh.
No, but see, you're looking at it wrong. Social studies is a lot of things. It's languages, math, health, bilingual
Oh, it's-
studies, fine arts department.
It's sub-subjects then. Okay.
It even has up in band, AP history. So there's all kinds of teachers here.
Well, yeah, they got the music teachers.
Oh, there's Mr. Brady right at the bottom.
Right. But I don't see
206.
Mr. Dale. Where the heck Dale go? Dale.
Hey, yo. I know that was from that one movie, Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
$1 million. Hey, get your Powerball tickets tomorrow, gentlemen,
Why?
because we could be doing this radio show in the Hawaiian Islands. That's why.
Oh, do you remember
there's-
Sarah? Do you remember Sarah Getty, Mrs. Getty?
Miss Getty, yeah.
She was nice, wasn't she?
He was, boy. She knew her calculus.
Yeah.
She was
Maybe
a
they-
Playboy bunny. Do you know that?
Well, that I was about to say that was the rumor, and I could see
That
that
wasn't a rumor.
because she was very, very pretty.
She was very pretty.
So they got Mr. Dale under applied sciences,
Okay.
along with Shear, Evans.
Mr. Evans, I remember him. He had the bow tie.
Yeah.
And he'd
Katie
tell us,
Flynn.
you know, when my kids were young and them street lights came on, if they weren't home, whack. I says, hey, you're a nice guy. Them street
I
lights
can't
come on,
find the
you
government
know.
teachers. Horton's not in here either.
She's in there somewhere.
Well, no, it's under social studies.
Horton?
No, it says American history and government.
Right, but they're not
Under
in there.
social studies.
Unless
Maybe
they,
she didn't want her picture taken.
yeah, unless they left after.
No, they
there's-
were there.
You know, there's where you could look for their name. and then
Yeah.
find out what page.
I don't see her in there either.
It's called an appendix, Mike. Yeah, you're a
I
sucker.
thought
man.
that's what they
okay.
take out if you're sick.
Would you look at the time?
What?
Hey, we need to do an episode on the stuff that they wrote in your yearbooks.
I bet you
I
Rick
never-
has. Rick has,
I never had anybody sign mine.
Look at Mary's
No?
got a lot. I never
Wow.
even bought a yearbook.
I didn't either.
Yeah, we
That's
got the
pretty
same
cool.
one. Her and I were in this, got the same
Well, how many
one.
signatures you got, Mike?
I got almost quite a few.
You know
How
what?
many were nasty? How many were nasty? Let's hear it. Let's hear a nasty one.
Let's see. No.
Oh, come
A
on.
lot. I like the ones where they say, oh, maybe we could, go out sometime, or, oh, it'd be nice to get to know you better. And
These are fun to read because even though I wasn't in high school with Mary, I
it's
mentioned
upside down, but
Are you,
I
hey,
mentioned because
Dan, are
we
you
were
allowed
going out.
are you allowed to be showing that on TV?
because
I would check with your wife before you start.
I
You
can,
know what I mean?
I don't think. Well, I don't think Mary signed my book. By the way, you might want to.
well, we didn't invite you to the wedding, so I'm not surprised.
Whoa. Whoa. That's a dagger, man. Holy shit.
Was it something I said?
How do you feel about that, Mike?
The only guy in Bridgeview, I think, that didn't make it that day.
Oh man.
And in the pictures, I'm just gonna have someone with a blank face, and I'm gonna say this is Mike.
Do a cartoon. Do a cartoon like Seinfeld.
You put like a happy face.
yeah,
Here's Mike.
We forgot one. We found one left in the closet somewhere. We just found it.
A little stick person on the pictures. That's awesome.
Yeah, I got almost all the pages, all the blank pages were signed.
Really?
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
but I don't see any that are, calling me a jerk off or anything.
Yeah.
That's because Rick didn't sign in.
I didn't know how to spell till senior year, so that would have been impossible.
So what
I
year
figured out why I didn't do anything in the summers. I was always in the gym. Or at doubles.
I wonder what would happen if we called some of these phone numbers that are in here.
You'd probably get arrested in the morning.
I would imagine most of them are. I mean, seriously, most of them are probably disconnected
Could
because
you
they're
imagine?
their parents'
hey.
houses.
I got your phone number out of my yearbook.
I posted one of those phone number things the other day, and one of the gals came back and says that's still her same phone number on her cell phone
Really?
from when they were kids.
Oh,
I
they
thought
got
that
it.
was pretty-
They had
I
it
thought that was
switched over
pretty
from a
cool.
landline to a
Huh?
cell phone.
No.
Yeah, I think like 40 years now. I think that's pretty
'Cause-
cool.
I know
And it's
my brother had a cell phone in the 80s, but it was one of those big giant brick phones.
Yeah,
It wasn't even a brick; it was a bag phone.
yeah, I
It
seen.
was
I
the
seen
big
that.
giant bag, and because he
It's like
did
Time
a
Machine.
yeah he
You see
did
that at the hot tub.
he did plowing. So
Really?
yeah, so when he was the first one I knew that ever had a phone. Besides Mary's uncle, who was a rich guy, he had a phone built into his car.
Motorola.
Yeah, something like that. But I remember it was I guess a lot of this was this giant battery that you had in the bag because it didn't hook up to your car.
My uncle Pat was involved in some of that when they came out with those car phones.
The ones that were actually built into the car.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what he had. He always bought Cadillacs and they were built into it.
yeah.
You
That
could
was
just use- You could just
That
use
was
one
a
of these.
stat.
You could just use one of these pictures and just say it's me.
There
Oh,
you go.
nice. That one does look like you.
Right there.
Right. You're jamming away.
Hey, I used to do that too. I used to carry my boombox on my shoulder, walk down the street.
You remember Buddha?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Strawberry
never hung
Fields
out
Forever.
with him, but I remember him.
Strawberry Fields Forever. Class would be
Buddha.
going on, and he'd be walking down the hallway with his boombox singing.
Oh,
I don't think he
okay.
ever went to class. He was just like what do you call that?
Was he real skinny and like
Yeah.
real short hair?
Yeah. Always singing Strawberry Fields.
I remember that one guy would always walk down he'd always be bobbing his head.
Yeah, that was Buddha.
Okay.
Yeah.
I only knew him because Jimbo Richardson,
He was at your
pointed him
wedding?
out to me. He pointed it out to me. What were you saying?
He was at your wedding?
Yeah, actually, he
Now Mike's
wasn't.
really pissed.
He's one of the. He wasn't actually.
He was the DJ.
I think you need to redo it over again.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that's 37 years ago.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
I know.
That's rare nowadays too, brother.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I always said I'm doing it once, and that's it. If this one didn't work, I would have never got married again. So.
Yeah.
Let's see, who's this? I got one that says Gina, but I don't know Gina who.
If she's
Got a
giving you
phone?
gossip, we know which Gina it is. Hey, Gina, if you
No
watch
names.
this, you'll know who we're talking about.
Yeah, you will.
I'm trying to read to see if there's any, let's see here.
Check
Got
the
the
word
Beastie
print.
Boys going.
So, Rick, what year did you graduate?
83.
Oh, so right after Mary and
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think this was Gina Kean's because it said something about choir. Too bad she wasn't here. I could read it back to her.
She probably still remembers it.
She would.
He wrote quite a bit. That whole thing right there is all hers. That
Wow.
whole page.
That was, yeah, she probably had about 3 or 4 coffees in her.
I was one of those. Good luck. That would be what I would write.
Keep in
Yeah,
touch.
I-
Good luck. Yeah.
I would just draw a picture.
Of a big dick or something.
No,
A finger.
a finger. Did you see my 10-year after picture?
I'm not sure.
It's the finger, and then it's the finger next to it 10 years later.
Oh, yeah. I did see that. Yes.
I think my favorite one, Dan, you laughed at it earlier, was FaceTime back in my day.
Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah. That was a funny one. I kept trying to think of something funny to say with it, but whatever I would have said with it would have been really dirty. So,
Words are
I
not
chose
needed
not
when it's
to.
one of those.
yeah.
Did you? Hey, one more. Did you see the one I posted with Elsa? And the guy's all frozen in the face.
Oh, yes. I can't remember what the, yeah.
I sit here sometimes. I go, well, I got the devil on my right shoulder saying, "Post it." I got the little angel going, "Don't do it."
If you notice, I always try to send you stuff that I won't post.
Yeah, I know. Chicken shit.
I'm thinking, this is definitely Rick would enjoy this.
Oh, that one you tagged me on. That's my brother Elmo, man. Oh.
Well,
So what happened to Tracy though? Anybody?
nothing.
I would bet
Gina?
he ended up going to that whatever. it was
Gina might
called.
have forgot. She don't forget shit though.
Yeah, she maybe just got busy.
Hang on a
Yeah.
sec. Hang on a sec.
What are we hanging on?
Hang on. I'm gonna see what the hell her problem is.
Oh, jeez. He's
Tell her
gonna.
I got something to serenade her about.
He's hunting her down.
I'm gonna tell her that.
Nobody stands us up.
Damn it, where are you?
Tell her I'm going to read her writing in my yearbook on live TV.
Okay. Where the hell are you and what are you doing?
I'd have to charge you guys to tell you.
Oh, do you hear that guy? Hey, you're live now, you know.
I know.
Oh, okay. All right. What's the going rate?
Well, I mean, you guys are friends, so
Oh,
we can barter.
woo. Hey,
We have weed. Dan has what?
Mike wants to read you something.
No.
Please,
Why don't you just get on the meeting?
can I do this from my phone?
Well, yes.
All right, it'll be really small. But
Are
okay.
you getting on the Zoom
Yeah,
meeting?
get it.
All right, I'll wait. I'll talk you through the technical shit.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No, you're not a blonde anymore. You're like a strawberry blonde gray.
No,
No,
I got it fixed.
you
Okay?
did, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right, we're waiting to see.
If I need your help, I'll call you.
Okay, we'll see you in a couple
Hurry
seconds.
up before my bandwidth goes out.
Yeah, Mike.
You know, Mr. Let's get on drunk on New Year's Eve.
Well, that's what normal people do.
Whatever.
Why
I
don't you
only
just
got
play
about
music?
10 minutes left of bandwidth, and then
Set up professional audio settings.
Then
What is this shit?
Then it turns into a pumpkin.
yeah, I got to spin the wheel.
Got to wake up the gerbil.
Bye to me.
Okay, goodbye. All right, we'll see what happens.
Well, I'll keep looking to see if she pops up here.
So she knew about the meeting. She just chose to ignore it.
Oh,
Ah,
She's out somewhere, obviously.
no.
No,
What is this in front of me?
what are you talking about?
There's something. Yeah, I'm tripping, man. It was some wicked weed.
What is this in front of me?
Fucking dragons coming out of the screen, man. Oh, I got something that says set up professional audio and audio settings. Why
Don't
did they
touch
do
it,
that?
whatever you do.
I ain't touching shit, man. I'll end up in somewhere. I know. I'll be in another Zoom meeting in Puerto Vallarta.
Oh, there it is.
All right, Gina. Is that Gina?
Yeah. Give her a second. See her
There we
name?
go. Connecting
Yeah.
to audio. Well, anyway, the Eagles are supposed to be supposedly coming to Chicago in March.
Hey, we
There
see
she
you.
is.
Oh, can hardly hear you though. Now we can't hear you at all.
it's the microphone button.
It's the other arrow.
Check the microphone button.
Come on, Juice.
Do you know how to sign? Gina? Can she hear us?
I don't know.
Blink your eyes if you can hear us. He just dropped an F-bomb. Ask her if she wants. Do you want me to go on the phone so we get audio?
Oh, she
Uh-oh.
went off.
Oh boy,
Ah,
she's having a fit. Dan, you ought to, that's what we ought to do on the next Zoom meeting. Have a Zoom class. That could go on for days.
Yeah.
we could
Well,
all give a present. We could all give a presentation.
Our guest speaker will be Juice.
yeah, I invited him too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well,
What did you say, Kate?
we can see her name.
I don't know. Laughing's good for you.
Hell yeah. When you get past 60, though, it's tricky.
I got to wear out Depends.
Did you find out? Were you trying to contact somebody?
No.
Oh, that you're calling in, Cindy.
I got a joke with that one, but I'm not going to say it with a kid in the house.
She's heard worse.
No, I don't know.
Hi,
Okay.
Gina.
Oh, God. She works at Channel 9. Hey, you know what gets me? out here, this is just a rant. But every time there's a silver alert, in Indiana, I end up getting the alert for 15 minutes on top of my TV, and I can't change channels or anything.
What kind of an alert?
A silver alert. There's some 90-year-old guy that left to go get milk, and his wife was worried about him because she hadn't seen him in 2 weeks.
What?
There she is.
Yeah, but now I can't see anybody.
Well, we can't see you either, actually.
Yeah.
It's the one that says start video.
Okay. It says microphone is unmuted. Your video is stopped.
Hit
Okay.
that.
Started.
Now she hit the microphone again.
See, if you would have been at the meeting
Okay, how about
earlier,
that?
Well, all right, now we can hear you. We just can't see you.
if you would have been on the meeting at 7:30 like you were told,
What would have happened?
you'd be talking to us face to face, right?
Does your video have a little red line going across it?
No, I don't have anything. It says safe driving mode because I'm on my phone.
Are you driving?
No,
No, seriously.
no, I'm not.
All right, well then you got to take it off of safe driving mode.
That's a smartphone. Holy shit. See, Gina? Flip phone.
I got your flip phone.
Ooh.
Damn it.
I got a flip phone too. Look.
See?
Hey, Rick, look
Ah.
at my flip phone.
Oh, can you
Hey.
hear me?
Oh. Oh.
See? No
All right,
good.
I see Gina. Wow,
Wow.
nice
Thank
hairdo.
you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Looks good.
All right. I had to. Tomorrow's my family's Christmas, and they're going to take pictures. But I shouldn't
know
say
what?
that. Because
What's
they
my
can-
famous saying, Gina?
Who cares? No, what?
No, come on.
What? I don't remember. Fuck them.
There you go.
That's true. But why? Oh, so I don't like that I can't see all of you.
You want to see all of me?
No,
I think we're good. I think we're good, right? Where we are.
I don't want to see myself. That's the thing. Okay, there we
What's
go.
the matter? You still got that? You still got that cold?
It's not. It's like a stress cough.
No, it's a weed cough.
It's not a weed cough. You smoke weed every 20 minutes and you don't cough.
I know I don't, because I know what I'm doing.
Sorry.
A little Jim
gotta-
Beam, maybe.
You got to drink iced tea while you do it.
That ain't iced tea.
It eliminates the stress.
I'm telling you, yeah, just what I need to like enhance my personality with caffeine.
You need some wild turkey.
So what are you guys talking about?
Oh, everything.
Everything.
Well,
Trips.
we were talking about teachers, and then Mike got out the yearbook and he found what you wrote to him.
And he wanted to repeat
What
it
did
to
I
you.
write?
It was like 6 pages long.
No shit.
We're turning
Oh my
it.
God.
We're turning it into a mini series.
Are we gonna?
Hey,
Are we
hey,
gonna-
I'm complimentary. I'm you know,
It was the same bullshit that everybody else wrote.
Wow.
fuck you. I'm not just like
Oh,
so now you're saying I'm just like everybody else?
wow.
Michael,
No.
That was brutal. You're not even 10 minutes into the meeting. You're already.
Now I gotta look for it. Hold on.
You got them
I'm
all
not-
rattled. Are you happy? Fucking guy can't turn the page now.
He's
taking
folding
so
under
long.
pressure.
yeah, because
Yeah.
now the pages are all sticky and stuck together.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
Now
oh,
we know.
touche.
It goes from page 98 to 122.
Oh, we were looking at the cartoon picture that Dan.
And the weird part, all the sticky ones are the boys in their gym suits.
Yeah, and their speedos.
Oh, that
Would
hurt.
you look at the time?
Mike really sings soprano.
Oh my God. Hey, when are you and Marty coming out to play cards?
When I have a car that will go that far.
Just Uber it.
Uber to Moments.
Yeah.
If I put the
It's only
Son of
like
a gun.
$20.
I think a flight would be cheaper.
Yes.
A flight.
I can always read what Greg Billage wrote.
Don't you have a small?
Oh.
Don't you have a small airport?
Wait a minute. Gina's got something to say. Jesus Christ. You okay? If you're gonna spew into this.
Stop.
Come on. What are you gonna say?
About what, Greg?
Yeah, you were just gonna
I
say
can't-
something. You started choking.
Now I can't find it.
Jesus, you're betting 1,000 tonight, Mike.
Yeah, we'll have to save it for next time.
Hey, Mike, you just look while we talk. Are they picking
Okay.
on you, Mike? Are they picking on you?
Who,
No.
me? No.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Is this it?
It was really big.
It was all of, it was
It was
all
a
of
whole
that.
page, yeah.
It was not a whole fucking page.
This whole thing.
What do you mean it ain't a whole page?
And it's so tiny that let's see. I'm really glad that I got to know you as well as I have in the last year. You've been a great friend when I was sad. You tried to make me happy, and I appreciate it. You were always there.
I'm gonna start tearing up.
You're a good
Shut up.
person, and you're something great personality.
Aw, that's so nice. You're so nice, Michael.
Personality.
Well, you wrote it.
And with that, you'll get
Oh, that hurts.
something you.
She writes a lot of something.
Fluff.
Oh shit.
Oh, wait.
Oh God.
Uh,
Well, I
Boy,
didn't
it
say
gets
anything
better.
about like nude pictures or anything, so that's good.
Oh. I feel like I just did 100 sit-ups.
See,
This
just when you
past
thought
year-
it was safe.
This past year in choir was.
Oh my God, still talking. It's
This-
terrible.
Because you write a lot.
This past year in choir, want to something in
That's probably
life.
how I write.
This past year in choir, we had a blast. Every time I looked at you.
This is getting good.
No, because he would crack us up when we're.
I
supposed
would
to be
laugh.
shutting up.
I'm really glad
He would get us in
didn't-
trouble.
I'm really glad you didn't quit swing. I had a lot of fun just sitting around,
Doing
messing
nothing.
around with you and John and everyone in
Well,
the group.
let me just
You're-
tell you what those guys would do. We would be in a concert and they would squat down behind while we're singing and say shit and make us laugh, so we got in trouble.
There's a lot I would like to say,
Oh, like I haven't said a lot already. Oh my
but
God.
I don't know how to put it down in words.
Uh-oh. Here we
Here
go.
we go.
Here we go.
Because there's a lot of la 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 and fa la la.
I'll bet there is.
Hopefully you know how I feel.
Woo! Keep going. Tell more.
There are so many memories that you will leave with me and others.
Oh, see,
hope-
I included other people. I'm not
I
so
hope you're always
I want-
happy, and I
I
hope
get
everything
shut up.
in your life turns out how you want it to. Good luck always. If
See?
you ever need anyone to talk to, I will
Oh my
always be
God.
there.
That's Gina.
Thank you. I hope you have a happy birthday. Keep in
Oh,
touch.
see?
And then there's a phone number. Does that phone number still work?
599-1722.
Yep.
See, that
Mike,
was a
call it to
lovely
make
sale.
sure.
I
Wait, I got
can't find my yearbooks.
So How much of that is still true?
What? I'm pretty much the same person. I mean, don't
Yeah.
you think? I'm not that different, really.
I was never going to quit. I never said I was going to quit. Did
Yes,
I?
you did. Otherwise, I wouldn't have said that.
Oh.
Yeah, Gina
No, you
knows.
did that just to mess with everybody. You know.
Gina doesn't forget, Mike.
Yes, I do. Some things.
Uh,
I remember insignificant things.
Now, what did I write in your book?
Good luck. Have a nice summer.
And then he gave him the phone number, but it was the wrong one.
Right. Bridgeview Library.
Clyde's cleaning service. Quick calling here.
Oh, look at, hey, Mike had, what did you have? Like, you had a party. Was it a Memorial Day party, Mike? Isn't your birthday in May or something?
Yes, it is. But that was, you talking about just now, like where I'm at
A couple
now?
years ago? Yeah.
Yeah, that was the housewarming.
Oh, that's what it was.
And Gina shows up like 6 hours later.
That's normal.
I showed up.
Was it 2 a.m?
I got
It was-
lost.
It was me and this other guy just sitting there finishing our drinks. And
Bullshit.
she pulls up.
How do you get lost, Gina, when you're 3 minutes away from him?
I was being a smartass. I had something else going on that day as well. And it
Dan's
wasn't
wedding.
just you and him. There were there,
Yeah, she was there. But yeah, you missed that part. Mike's upset because I didn't invite him to my wedding.
oh no. Are you serious?
Oh,
That was the joke of the night.
yeah.
Because he was looking through the pictures and he
And
didn't
he's
see
like
himself.
all of his neighbors but him.
Well, everybody
on
in
Mike's block-
everybody in Bridger except for him.
Yeah, everybody on Mike's block. Mike's like, where's everybody going?
I'm looking at all the pictures, and there's this guy and this guy, and they're all naming each other, and having a great time, and they're all laughing and dancing, and I'm like, But then my daughter says, "Well, Dad, you didn't invite them to yours, so I guess we're even."
See, I love her. She's so smart.
Yeah, see, Mike's holding a grudge because I didn't invite him to my wedding. He didn't invite me to his wedding.
He didn't invite any of us to his wedding.
Really?
Well,
Wow, he didn't like anybody.
I
then.
was, but
He went to Las Vegas.
for the record,
He invited
I was-
Elvis.
I was only allowed a certain amount of Bridgeview people.
And they were in the driveway when I showed up to your housewarming party. There were still Bridgeview people there, by the way.
Oh, I thought they all had left.
No, I wasn't that late. Well, you know, I get anxiety. I don't like walking in places by myself. So, you know, I mean, I know I don't shut up after I start, but I don't like to walk in by myself.
That's
See, if you get there early, it doesn't appear that you're walking in because you're already there.
Or-
See, no, I never thought of that. I'm not very punctual though, am I?
Or if you just like drive down the street and just show up looking for my house and just out of nowhere.
Just be like, hey, you do live probably what, about 10 minutes away?
It's about 15.
15.
Yeah.
Have you
And
ever
right
walked
now
into the wrong house
I did that before.
thinking it was a party there and it wasn't?
Hey. Oh,
I
was
walked into
gonna
my
say
cousin's
something.
neighbor. I walked into my cousin's neighbor house hammered. And the guy's like, who the are you? I says, I'm Blotto. Who are you? What the fuck are you doing in my house? I says, isn't Mike here? No, he lives next door. Sorry.
People
No.
used to do that between our house and the Hogan's house.
You know, Robert Downey Jr. ended up in rehab for doing that same thing, Rick.
Yeah, but he was stupid.
Did you guys ever see that movie Less Than Zero?
Oh yeah, that was good.
What do you posted?
That's
Yeah.
a fantastic movie.
I don't know. Your aunt posted something.
Some people have never seen that movie.
Yeah, that's what's his name? Not Slater.
Yeah, not Slater.
No, the other
No.
guy.
What was his Matthews or was his Matthew?
Oh no,
Who was the girl in that
Andrew
movie?
McCarthy.
Yeah, who was the girl in that movie?
Who is the what?
The girl.
I don't remember the girl actually.
I'm sorry, I didn't know what you guys were talking about.
Less Than Zero, the movie Less Than
Oh.
Zero.
I didn't see it.
See, a lot of people have not seen it.
James Spader was in that too.
Yeah,
James,
that's the who I'm
it
thinking
was.
of.
See, you were right, Dan.
Yeah. No, I said Slater.
Oh, you said Slater. Okay.
Yeah, but I meant Spader. I just couldn't think of the name.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that was a good movie.
That was really
See,
good.
Did you guys ever see Dogma?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
really
that was
good.
cool.
Yeah.
That was
Those
a
are
good
like
movie.
some of those movies that you know everybody, but they never were like big. But if you ever saw them, they were like really good movies.
Yeah.
Beavis and Butthead Do America. That was good too.
Shut up. I never seen any of the Beavis and Butthead movies.
Come on.
No, I never did either.
Oh man.
I
All right,
seen
that's
the
your-
show.
That's your homework for the next Zoom meeting.
The show was funny.
We'll talk about cartoons,
Hell yeah.
the
Just-
dirty kind.
Just the really intelligent
You-
ones, like
You
Beavis and
guys
Butthead.
remember that one that played at the Sheridan, that X-rated one with the cat? Fritz
Oh,
the cat.
Fritz the cat. Yeah,
Yeah,
Fritz the
Fritz
cat.
the cat. We'd be
There was-
driving by and my mom would be like, don't look at that theater. Don't look at the screen. We're like,
My
what the hell are they
husband said
talking
his
about?
mom would step in front of the TV if like there was a tampon commercial or a bra commercial, she'd start dusting in front of the TV.
There was another one at the Sheridan that had like male parts that would bounce up and down.
Really?
What
Yeah.
fucking movie were you watching?
I don't know.
That wasn't your neighbor's house you were looking at.
He said the Sheridan. He was in this private screening room.
Oh, you know what? There was a movie at Sheridan called Flesh Gordon. Did you
Oh,
ever
that
see
was,
that?
yeah.
With the Penosaurus?
Yeah. And what was not Ming the Merciless? What was his name? The bad guy.
Oh, there
I
was a
can't remember.
cartoon one. It was a bunch of like male organs like bouncing up and down. They were green color.
You were
Oh, I
tripping.
would think that they would be blue.
It was,
Like
I don't
green.
know, green, blue. They were
You're probably colorblind.
one of the guys that I hung around with told me about it, but I ain't gonna say his
I don't
name.
remember that one at all.
I don't either.
That seems like one that I would have remembered.
I think he was in a private screening room still.
Saw The Exorcist there too. Who saw The
Oh
Exorcist?
man, The Exorcist.
Oh, I can't. To this
Yeah,
day,
I seen
can't stand
Exorcist
that
there.
movie.
Oh God.
I seen
think-
it. I seen it first from Wurzba Park off the Big Metal Slide, and then
Oh,
I
okay.
actually went into the theater while it was there because it was there for weeks.
Yeah.
It's not like now where it's for like 2 days. It
Yeah.
was there for a while, and we ended
Hey.
up going to see it. It was scary, man.
Oh yeah.
Now that's something that used to be really cool is the fest that they had at Wurzba Park every year. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
always such a big fest.
Yeah, it
Well, I
was very
remember-
nice.
I remember before after we saw The Exorcist, my mom saying on the ride home, that's why you go to church. You know? Oh shit, 8 years old, man. I was at church 3 times, 4 times every Sunday for a month.
Oh yeah, no, that freaked me out. I still to this day I don't like it, even though it's cheesy and you know that it's just the concept.
Yeah. Did you guys see that movie, The Nun?
No, I never
Mm-mm.
seen that.
Good, watch that one.
None of us did.
I lost a whole box of popcorn, man, 3 minutes into the movie.
Wow.
It was scary shit.
How long ago was that one?
Oh, about 4 years.
Oh, okay, so it's fairly new.
Yeah, it's about an old monastery. Where did the nuns hang out? What do you call that place?
Convent.
Convent, yeah. It's an old Bulgarian or something like that convent. The priest was there to check out a suicide or something. It was really, really weird, man. I don't like
Yeah,
that
no.
movie. Got every light in the house on.
There was a movie, I bet you none of you guys seen it because it wasn't like a big hit, but it was one of the scariest movies I seen when I was probably in my early teens. It was called Don't Look in the Basement.
No.
No.
It was about an insane asylum, and the basement of the insane asylum, they kept the crazy, really crazy people in it. But it was like really scary and gory for the time.
Do you guys like horror movies?
I don't really. I would watch them when other people watched them, but I wouldn't go out of my way to see them.
What about you, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, they're okay. I mean, it depends, you know.
It's not
If
like
they're
you're a
really-
super fan.
If they're really stupid, low budget ones, then not so much, you know.
Right.
I like watching them and then scaring the shit out of people when you watch it again.
Because I've got a thing on my Fire Stick. It's like all Halloween movies and scary stuff, you know, and
Right.
some of them are really dumb. The first 10 minutes of it, you know, it's going to be stupid. So there was one about some vampire in a casket at a funeral home, and I'll let you guys, you know.
Hey, do you guys remember that old? It was from the 1970s. I Know What You Did and I Know Who You Are.
No.
That was one of those. It was like one of those like scary teen type movies.
Sounds like my neighbor coming to my mom and telling her, "You know what your son just did?"
But the gist of the movie was these young girls would call up just randomly people and say, "I know who you are," or no, "I know what you did and I know who you are." Just
Right.
randomly to anybody. But they ended up calling this guy that actually killed his wife. And then this guy got all freaked out because he thought that they actually knew, who
But they were
seen
just
them.
calling random.
Just random
and so-
people. And it just so happens that they called the guy that killed his
You're
wife.
on your phone and I could see it messing up.
Hey, what was that movie with Malcolm? Was it Malcolm McDowell, where he was the vampire guy, Peter Vincent?
I'm not sure what that was.
God, I can't think of the name of the movie now, but it was about vampires, and Charlie was his neighbor, and Dracula moved in next door.
Oh,
Fright
Bright
Night.
Night, yeah.
If
Yeah,
you
I've
haven't
never seen
seen
that.
that, you got to watch that.
They redid that, didn't they? Didn't they have a
Yeah,
newer
but
version?
the original one was scary.
Right.
Where
Yeah.
that neighbor, his friend turned into the vampire and he ate his mother and shit.
I have
Yeah.
like no need for those kind of movies.
Your supper is in the oven. Ah, his mom's
Yeah.
laying there all bloody and chunks of meat missing from her. Oh,
I
I have to. Now I like Mike's sweatshirt, but I keep only seeing the part that says old. It's like
it's a
advertising.
dirty word.
I can't see navy. I just keep seeing old. It's so funny.
Well, the Navy is kind of like the N in the Y,
Goes under the arms.
but the A and the V are because it's
Are the same.
a hoodie. They
Right.
cut the
Is
lettering
No,
off.
it's a nice hoodie, but I just keep seeing old. That's all I see.
Well, it's to your imagination. You could either say old.
But you're the least gray. Like, look at the rest of us. We're all gray, and look at you.
Oh, I'm not gray at all. I lighten my hair.
I know. I love your.
That's not what do you call that, Dan? Silver Ghost?
That's
Something like
that's
that.
called paint.
called pink.
No, gray hair. The chicks love that gray hair, man.
Especially when it's all silver like that. It's distinguished. You look
There you go.
distinguished.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, well, I can't be Santa
Right.
Claus.
I gotta
You're not
start,
using that
I
hair
gotta
dye,
start
are you?
drinking my tea like this.
Me,
My finger
yeah.
up.
You're dyeing your hair, Mike?
Oh hell yeah!
Get out.
No, this ain't natural.
No shit.
I get it done about every 8 weeks.
Really?
Yep.
I dyed my hair for many, many years. And then I finally just decided, it's too much work. But it was
But then,
freaky.
I mean, you're the type of person. It doesn't matter. I mean, you still look young, irregardless. It doesn't. Gray hair doesn't age everybody.
No.
you know? I mean, like, look at Bridget. Her hair looks good, and not everybody can.
I wonder if my bandwidth is starting to mess up.
Is that what that is?
I don't know. It
No,
didn't
it's not.
start.
It
didn't
seems
start.
fine.
June.
Mike,
Yeah,
it
you're-
seems fine.
Yeah.
Didn't start till Gina got on.
Shut up.
He's sucking the life out of your bandwidth. Go ahead,
Damn
say
kid.
something. What?
Who?
What?
Who, me?
No, you.
You're such a jackass.
Who, me? No, you.
I'm like watching. Well,
Yeah,
whatever.
it's even like my beard.
What beard?
If I had a beard, it would be all white.
Really?
Yeah. I have a little still color in the mustache, but the whole beard would just be bright white.
I shaved
What?
before this show.
I actually had gray early. I had it when I was in like junior high.
So you didn't get carded much then.
Shut up.
What? That's a bonus.
No, mine started in my early 20s, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, think about it. Kevin's been gray as long as I've known him practically. Kevin's been gray probably in his early 20s.
Who's Kevin?
Yeah.
Kevin Barry.
Who?
Kevin Barry. He's been
Oh, Kevin
white
Barry. Yeah.
for as long as I can remember. Like
Yeah,
in
he
his-
grade. He
Yeah,
grade
you know Kevin.
fast. Yeah.
Yeah,
I do actually.
yeah,
He had
you
pictures of him on Facebook.
Yeah, that's right. He's the guy I invited instead of you.
Ah,
It was a
dick.
toss-up. We were looking through it, and we said, "Mary, should we invite Kevin or Mike?" And then she said, "Definitely not Mike. He's an ass."
Oh,
I'm just lucky I was the neighbor.
That's right.
some people say that.
You got the treatment.
Yeah,
you
right.
You had a nice picture at the wedding, Gina.
Oh yeah, thanks. My old short hair. I used to always have short hair.
Yeah, you did. You always did have short hair.
Like in those years, like in my early 20s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rick, when did you move to Florida? How old were you?
Oh shit. 45,
Really?
44.
So you were out here until then?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like the time frame.
We're in the same time zone, Mike.
No, I'm talking about the picture. Everything's starting to go like weird now. Like the face is starting to freeze up and the voice
Really?
starts to, yeah.
Are
So I
you
wonder
taking
if
any
it's-
prescription medication?
No.
Well, maybe you should.
I'm just wondering if it's like more people are on the internet.
That's what I think happens because it only happens to you, and it must be the area that you're in.
Maybe you just got a bad signal from that area.
I don't know.
Now he's looking around the house like there's ghosts flying
Yeah,
around.
he's freaking me out, man.
I know.
What the fuck you looking at, dude?
My kid's right there. Watch.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
looking.
sorry. All right.
My daughter's on the couch over there.
Making
On
sure
her
she doesn't
phone.
get out of line.
Hi.
She's on the phone, so she's sucking up the bandwidth. Turn that off.
How'd
She
that
just-
work out for you?
I got the finger.
Nice.
Yeah, my 17-year-old just did that about 20 minutes ago.
Flipped you off?
What kind of?
No, flipped Mike off.
Yeah. Yes, that one.
Oh, poor Mike.
Look at, see, now he got off. He like completely hung up. No, I'm just kidding.
Who did?
Mike, I'm just
No, I'm
joking.
still here.
You're on prescription
I know.
meds too, then.
Well, because I'm doing it on the phone, I can. Oh, that didn't sound right. Because I've joined this on the phone, I can only see
I
who's.
knew I
talking.
remember that voice.
I can't see.
Oh,
four
is
of-
that the difference? I was wondering about that.
Yeah, like only who's speaking will show up.
There's a setting for that.
I was about to say, I think there's a setting you could hit.
You go up to view and you click on the view and it's either speaker, gallery, or full screen.
Oh, okay. On my
I
phone,
ain't
really?
messing with it.
Well, I'm on the computer. So
It said-
gallery,
I
I
am
can
too.
see.
Do you
Gallery,
get,
I
Mike, do
see
you
all
get all
four.
of them on the top of your screen too?
I got you all four. If I hit speaker, then it's just the person talking.
Okay. See, I get, when you're talking, I get the little one up on the top and then you're there. And then when Dan comes on, it's him, then it's Gina, but you're all up on the top too. Though. It's like Hollywood Squares.
Wow.
Hey, you know what? That's a good idea for a show.
Hollywood Squares?
How many people are there? 4, 8, 12 in Hollywood? No, 3, 6, 9.
Yeah, I think it's 9.
So you get 9 people and then you could have Mary do the questions.
Well,
Yeah, I
what's
don't
it
remember.
saying for my name? Is it saying my name at least?
Yeah, it says it.
Yeah, it
Okay.
says Gina Flisk,
Yeah, it doesn't have your
daughter's name. Yeah.
How would you
Right.
get the X's? How would you get the X's and O's on the?
Dan can figure
On the
that out. He's a
screen.
computer. He knows how to do that shit.
I would just take a pencil and go right on the screen.
Magic marker. Ugh.
Let's see. What does this button do? I want to know what this reaction thing is.
There you
Oh.
go. You're messing with technology, man.
Yay! I figured
can-
it out.
I
What'd
can
you do?
clap.
I
See,
just,
look, I
you
clap.
know, I slid the screen.
Oh, there you go. It's
I
not
can
Now I
clapping.
can see everybody.
I
And
can
Mike, why
clap.
do you have a hand up in the air?
Because I'm clapping.
It's not clapping.
Mike has the clap? What?
Oh,
I got the. It don't have the finger, Rick. Sorry.
it does somewhere.
I got the heart.
Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
What is it?
Mr. Fancy
Clap.
Pants over there.
Oh, that's cool.
Hold on. Here you go. Here's for you. That's for you.
All right.
Oh.
All right.
He had a heart on. Oh, sorry.
Oh, there you go. He's got a
Or
seat.
wait,
Got a.
this one's even better.
Oh.
Tina, what did you just say?
He had a heart on his screen. He had a heart on his screen.
I got the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other.
Let's see. There.
I got to find the angel.
That looks like Mr. Magoo tripping.
Oh wait, here you go. This is what I would look like if I didn't dye my hair.
Dude, man, you would there. You should do that, man.
Come on,
You could
really?
you could have girls sitting on your lap all year.
Well, hopefully they'll be older than 12, you friggin' idiots.
Where the fuck did that come from?
Hey, little girl, you want to see what's in my bag?
We're all going to jail.
Come taste my candy cane.
Oh, oh.
Oh, a telephone, huh? The
This
bat
thing's
phone.
cool.
It's the bat phone.
This thing's cool, man. It's got. Oh, here, wait. Oh no, here. I got the X.
Ah, is there
There
an
you
O?
go.
See, now I'm not seeing anything.
It might be
Well,
on a
open your
computer.
eyes.
You might not be able to do it.
It's right
You know
there on
what?
his right. His
Tear
right
that
shoulder.
page out of the yearbook right now.
Open your eyes. Here's one for you.
You got the 0 too. Oh, that's a magnifying glass.
There. All right, wait. See, you use that to see.
Oh, I
Okay.
see.
Yes.
You should have a thing that says reactions.
I don't have anything.
So I had the X. Where's
I got
the?
this. The
oh, wait,
recording
there it
thing
is.
is.
There you go.
There-
There's the
there you go.
circle.
There you go.
But that only works for mine, though. You'd have to.
Here, mine looks more realistic.
There you go.
No, there's no
Put it in the
finger.
corner. There you go.
Dan, did you burn bugs when you were a kid?
No, my
With
my
those
neighbor
things?
did though.
Yeah,
I'm not a-
those
I couldn't
those
do
were
that.
psychos. Huh?
I couldn't do that. My
No.
friend of mine used to do that.
Dan would have an ant farm and name the ants.
I actually had an ant farm. I didn't name the ants though. They didn't live long enough.
And I wasn't even being a smart ass. That was like kind of a compliment, actually.
All right, let's see. Here's your question. What does this mean?
You're fucked in Japanese.
It says, fuck a you.
It means congratulations.
Oh,
That's almost the same.
yeah, pretty much. Depending on where you come from. What else you got?
I don't know.
I don't know. Why don't you put on some glasses? Now you look right now. Your eyes look like what you were just saying. Same language.
That's his Asian counterpart.
Mr. Miyagi.
Wax on, wax off.
I knew you were going there.
That one was secret.
Ooh,
So
do you want to
we're
know a
like,
secret?
my family's doing their Christmas tomorrow.
What?
My family is doing their Christmas tomorrow.
In July?
No, it's
Hey, what'd you get me for
January.
Christmas, by the way?
Oh, it didn't get there.
Yeah. Good answer.
Well, so
Where-
I'm
where-
gonna make
Where do you have it at? Where are you having the Christmas at?
my mom's.
Where's
They
Oh,
it
got a
nice.
at?
big,
Is it a
they
big
got a
house?
big nice house. Yeah,
Oh.
you should see. You guys actually should all come over
I knew
in
you
the
were going to
summer
say that. Let's go.
and barbecue.
We're invited to the
No, I'm
Christmas
not
party,
kidding.
right?
My parents are always like, have people come.
What time does
Sorry.
it start?
I'm just telling you, they got a beautiful deck and pool, and
What time
Yeah.
are we going to be there?
I think she means in the summer, not tomorrow.
I think she meant tomorrow, Dan. Let the senator clarify.
I'm telling you.
Could
So-
I know you
could
are. You're
You've got
messing
2
with my
minutes to
mind.
clarify.
You got 8 seconds.
Starting now.
Remember, you're under oath.
Oh yeah, they got 8 seconds.
No, I'm making these rum chata like they're supposed to taste like cheesecake shots. but
I
they'll be
saw
rum
that.
chata.
Yeah. So you're pretty much going to get hammered tomorrow.
Nah, I don't get hammered.
Yeah.
I think it's my body weight to alcohol ratio or something. It's hard to me. It's a pain in the ass to get drunk because I have to work too hard to do it, and then you just
Wow.
have to pee.
They don't have
It's not
anything
worth-
nasty on here.
What are you looking for, man?
He's looking. He's looking for an eggplant.
Yeah, right. Or a
For
couple
what?
of, or a couple of melons.
Right. Well, which, if anybody ever thought of it, like the eggplant's purple.
You know,
like,
hey, Mike,
Yeah.
I'm going to send you that one I got, and then you can see if you can put it on your thing there.
Oh, okay.
That cartoon finger.
It's like a like finger, but it's not a like one.
Well, depending on who you are.
That's true.
there
Here you go. Here's to you guys.
you
Oh,
go.
look at that. Here. Look,
Cheers.
cheers. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
Coffee.
how
Gina, what are
did
you
he,
drinking?
how did he refill?
Hey, Gina, I see you.
Oh, you're keeping up on my drinking habits?
He's concerned. We're going to have an intervention, Dan.
Uh-oh. He's got his
Let
eyes
me-
on us.
Let me see if there's one with cough medicine.
I'm telling you, you guys make me laugh, and then they start choking.
What was that stuff they used to
Oh.
put in cough medicine?
Here, he wants melons. There you go.
Shut up.
That's
Where's
only
the-
one melon. Where's the other melon?
That's a nice looking
Well, it only
melon you
lets
got
you-
there.
It only lets you put one at a time.
Yeah.
Because you guys could probably only handle one melon at a time.
Oh, hell no.
You only got one mouth,
You got to push them together.
and then you got the motorboat.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
And
no
then
finger.
he fades back.
You can do the raspberries too, man. They like that.
Are you
There you go,
sure?
flash.
Oh, yeah.
There's a flash. There's a flashback.
Whoa, look at
There
that.
you go. Senior year.
All right. I have no idea what a raspberry is.
You know,
what?
come on.
You don't know what is?
A raspberry.
Raspberry?
Yes, they weren't invented when I was younger.
It's when you slide and you don't slide right. You get this big rash on the side of your ass.
No, man. Gina, what's a raspberry?
That's what it was in baseball.
Oy vey.
It's like a human French tickler.
Oh,
Next, they're going to ask you what are tea bags really for?
Oh,
I know. I'm a big fan of tea bags.
here,
No!
here's your eggplant.
No, you.
Oh, look
shouldn't
at he
be.
found his egg. Speaking of tea bags,
oh,
You guys are too easy.
we have to be at our age.
that's right. Any resistance at all, forget about it.
I mean, really,
It's
do you feel any
futile.
different? Does anybody actually feel like we're our age?
Fuck yeah.
Sometimes.
It takes me
No,
an hour to get moving. in the
I
morning.
actually don't most of the time.
Well, I'm not talking about like physically, mentally. Do you feel like you're any
mentally,
different?
I'm gone. So
Yeah, don't cry.
Yeah. no, I'm not. I'm laughing so fucking hard. I'm crying. Oh,
Hey, that does the heart good laughing.
so do other things. You don't see me doing them though, do you?
Well, hopefully
Well,
we,
we
don't
don't.
want to
Hey,
watch
Rick.
you do-
Obviously, we can't. We're not seeing your hands right now, so we
Right.
don't know what you're doing.
Wow.
Look, ma, no hands.
Oh, that's it.
A motorized blow-up doll.
Oh, Jesus. Oh,
What- There's a show. I don't know if it's on Hulu.
how do you
What's
get
the-
Hulu?
It's a
You have to
download.
subscribe.
Is it like, do I have to do it on my computer to my TV?
You have to have a smart TV to get it, or you could do it on your computer,
Or
How do you
buy
know
a
if it's
Fire
a smart
Stick.
TV?
or you can get Roku too.
Yeah, Fire Stick.
Right, Roku Fire Stick, or have a smart
Okay.
TV.
Well, how do you know it's a smart TV?
Talk to it, and if it talks back, and I'm just
How
kidding.
how
It
old
does
is it?
it does sometimes.
How old is it?
I don't know, a year.
Oh, then it might
Oh,
be.
it's probably smart.
You just have to download the app.
Fuck that. That's too much work,
One time, Rick was trying to change something on his computer, and he called me. And if his brother-in-law didn't intercept, he probably would have put it through the front window.
man. Oh, I would have.
Anyways, you got a good computer you're working with, right? Just download it on your computer. That'll be
Okay.
the easiest.
But then don't I have to have a cable or something to go to the computer or the TV?
Well,
Don't
no,
they have
Yeah,
to be
you could
next
do
to-
that.
I mean, you could. What do they call it?
A
Cast it
USB?
to it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna watch regular
But you
TV
could just
then.
watch it right on the computer. Is my point.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll try
You
that.
could go
What's
over
it? Is
there
it?
on your recliner and take your laptop with you.
You know, my recliner broke.
I hope my recliner never breaks.
You think? Hey, you think if I call Bob's because it's only about a year and a half old, you think they'd come out and fix it, or say, up yours?
Well, it's worth the phone call. Just
Yeah.
don't get angry if they tell you, up yours.
Well, you know, I'm gonna get angry.
I know, that's why I said don't.
That's a given.
You have
Oh.
no patience for stupidity.
None. No. I'll do stupid shit. Find myself punching me with the left hand.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah. Gee, don't get me going. on that,
Obviously, that's how that seat got broke
man.
from punching himself on it.
No. Radio edit.
It's not. It's not a jumble gym, a jungle gym. Well, is it an electronic one or one with the stick?
The stick.
Like just like
Are we
the
talking
hand-
about the chair
or his friend or his private friend?
or his blow up doll?
Yeah.
Wow.
No better.
No,
Batteries
it's the little handle on the side.
Oh yeah.
The little flip switch like a door handle. It's
Yeah, I
probably
don't
made
like
by a
that.
Toyota. That's why it fucking broke.
Probably.
Oh, look
What
at,
broke
he's
the
got like,
handle?
he's doing effects now.
Oh, God. What are you doing? Dude?
Changing my stuff around.
Your background or what?
Yeah.
See, and all I keep seeing is Mike and old. That's it. I didn't
Well,
see any of it.
that's pretty much all you're seeing. So you're
Yeah.
seeing what we're seeing.
I got the camera in HD.
That's HD?
Yeah.
It looks good like that, just so you know.
Yeah.
And then there's background and filters. You can do video filter or virtual background. You can do like a blur.
We'll do a virtual background. Let's see what's happening.
Yeah, and then I'll be like disappeared.
Space
Why would you be
alien.
disappeared?
Virtual backgrounds, a lot of times you need nice lighting to do it.
Yeah.
Because there's got to be
It's
a big
downloading.
contrast.
I don't know.
It's downloading. There goes your bandwidth.
The Zoom backgrounds are pretty good though, I gotta say.
Yeah.
As long as you don't move quickly.
Right. Or have like hair that's flowing.
Right.
Well, for the next show, I'll blow dry my hair.
Yes, please do.
Why? No, just do your bed head. Show them your bed head.
My bedhead? No. Only Gina gets to see that.
And not
All
in
right.
bed.
Your
I got a text
your blur
message.
is working.
Yeah.
Oh, see, he put his glasses on so he could actually see the computer.
You know, he did that about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, Gina, you're way on top of that.
You got to put your glasses on so you can see that.
I'm
sign
glad
you
his
up for-
glasses. I
We're gonna
haven't
sign you up
received
for CSI.
See, my bandwidth says 980 KBs and 2600 receive.
What the hell does that mean?
I don't know.
Well, then why'd you say it, man?
Well, I thought maybe you guys would know what that
No.
means.
Dan knows what he's
Oh,
sitting
that's
there
awful.
laughing.
That's you know what? If I were you, I would just throw that thing out. It's really bad. I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's giving me the bandwidth send and the bandwidth receive. My bandwidth send is only 989 kilobytes.
That's
Oh
a
well,
lot
you
of
know what that
kilobytes.
is. That's actually the amount of
memory.
Well, it's. I can't think what the word would be, but when you're sending stuff out, it's usually different than what you're receiving. A lot of times you can receive more and faster than you could put
Send
out.
it.
Yeah.
That's
send
how I
it.
gotta do. That's how I gotta do my phone too. When I send something to somebody, and it'll be just dragging ass sending. So I get off the Wi-Fi and I go back to the network, and it's like instantaneous. So I don't know what that's all about either.
Yeah. Can you say flip phone?
Can you say?
Wow.
Can you say
Wow.
flip her off?
I did. I
He
meant
didn't
that
even-
with, I meant that nicely. I love you.
I
I think she's gonna hurl. You all
can't
right?
get rid of this cough.
You go to the doctor?
No, it's not a cough from being sick. It's like after I'm sick, if I get a cold or whatever, I have like this residual like aftershock cough for like weeks.
Hey
Yeah, you're
Gina, have
choking
you
up
ever
lung oysters.
have you ever checked into allergies?
No, but I should. I mean,
You know
I
what?
think people-
For years, Mary kept telling me you have allergies. That's why you have these weird colds. I used to always say I've got a cold. I don't
Yeah.
have allergies. Got a cold.
right.
Well, like 20 years ago, she talked me into going to the doctor, and I found out I had allergies, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden, I don't have all these weird colds anymore. But
What
I,
are you taking?
I
same
think
thing.
my husband and my son both have, well, and my daughter, but nobody wants to take care of it. So, I mean, my husband, you would think he's a smoker, but he doesn't do anything. But he used to paint cars without a mask. So there you go. in
Well,
his
I did
20s,
that too.
You know, so
Dan,
What
what
do
do you
you-
take? Zyrtec?
No, Clarinex.
Okay.
It's like Claritin, but it's the version you need a prescription for.
Gina, you ought to look into that.
You
It'll
know
help
what
you.
though? Mary takes something different than I do. It's weird.
Yeah.
Because when she runs out, or she ran out before, I told her, well, take mine. They work really good. They don't work on her. Same thing.
Right.
Mine
Huh.
ran out and I took some of hers and hers didn't work on me. So if you take something and it don't work, try something else because each one of them is a little different.
Yeah.
They're not
Yep.
the same thing with a different name.
Yeah.
Right.
Clarinex works really good for me.
Yeah, because I'm Zyrtec because it doesn't mess with my heart, my blood pressure and shit. So
Yeah, there's a bunch of different ones.
but I'll
Well,
notice
so
if I
far,
don't take
I'm
it for a
lucky.
week, I'm stuffy all the time and I gotta start taking them again.
But you should definitely check it. If you got a weird cough that's constantly there, I bet you're got allergic to like whatever it would be.
Something.
Cats, dogs, dust, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, then I'd have
Uh-oh.
to clean. Never mind.
Mike put a pill up there.
Right.
Yeah, they don't have any weed up here.
Well, not on
Yeah,
that
look at-
site you're on.
That's
Well,
because
we have the rise over by us. We have that weed thing over by the. Somebody gave me some caramel something at work. I didn't take it though.
Caramel what? An
Like-
edible?
Yeah,
Why didn't you take it?
because I don't like to not know how I'm going to feel.
Well, that's the whole point.
she
You
didn't want
gotta
to
wait
go.
till you
She
you
didn't want to
gotta
go
wait till
schizo.
Right.
you gotta wait till you get there. And then if the bus goes by every 20 minutes, get on one.
Shut up. That's all I need. My family would be the worst people to be around if I was stoned.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't
we-
have a normal family.
We used to mess with my brother when we did that because he didn't like to smoke. So we'd all be sitting around, 5 or 6 of us, and then we all had it in the plan when my brother would smoke with us, we'd whisper his name back and forth.
People did that to me before.
Yeah, it freaks you out.
No, because I used to smoke, and I was at a party, and it was a big group of people that I hung around with. But anyway, we had a big party outside, and one person would be like whisper my name, and then the other one at the other side, they planned it. They're like, Gina, and I'd be like this, and then somebody else be like, Gina, and I go, they messed with me probably for a good hour. I'm like, who's calling me? And they're just talking to other people. Yeah. I used to do stupid stuff.
Oh, we all did.
I don't know.
It
Mike's
goes by
like, "No,
fast,
not
though,
me."
don't it?
Too fast.
That's just some weird shit.
So when did you guys get on at 8?
7:30, like the memo said.
7:30 sharp.
We were here on time.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm
It's the-
trying to.
It's the ones that
See,
don't care.
see, Gina, it's attitudes like that ruin a TV show.
I had to get some stuff for the thing tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, probably some weed.
Yeah.
Yes, for my family.
Yeah.
We
Put
can't
it in
get
the
no
brownies and
followers.
watch.
We can't get followers if you don't show up.
I know you're our what's the word I'm looking for?
Token female? What?
No.
Backbone?
She's got more friends than probably all of us combined. Let's put it that way.
No. Well, we gotta.
If she's
Maybe
got
we
one,
gotta-
she's got more than me.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to get out of like the Argo high school reunion thing and go someplace else.
You're our peach.
There you go. Good one, Mike.
Peachy Kean. Oh my
There
God.
you go.
Mike,
Wow.
you're
We gotta
so
get
witty.
We got to get T-shirts made now. We know Peachy Kean.
Not to be confused with eggplants. I'll tell you what. It's amazing the things you could say with emojis.
I can't figure them things out to save my ass.
That's how you have a flip phone.
No. It has nothing to do with the flip phone, Gina.
He
But
doesn't
thank
even
you.
want a smartphone. He's like
Ooh,
off that. Right, Rick?
I hate No, man. I see the way you guys are on. Fucking phone. You know?
Hey, Rick, is that a jitterbug?
No, it's yeah. Ha 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 ha. It's got the big fucking letters too. So I'll send you a text.
4, 5.
Oh, you know what? No,
7.
texting. That's why I hate texting, and I tell people it takes me an hour to say how are you,
8.
because you go
1,
past
2,
the
3,
W and you
1,
got
2,
a
3,
6.
4.
Yeah, you got a 1, 2, 3. So I get, when I send a text, I memorize the numbers. I go, on the twos, I go 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. It's like sending code.
Morse code.
Hey, going back around again, what you really need is like kind of an in between. You need to get a raspberry. Because that's like
Not to be confused with the raspberry.
right, not the one with the one you were talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll post something about raspberries later.
What
Okay.
we're sure you will.
What the heck's a
You know my
raspberry?
dilemma.
Huh? You don't
Gina
remember
knows my
what a
dilemma.
raspberry is?
With
Gina
a
knows what a
phone?
raspberry
That was
is.
the
No, Dan is the one that asked what a raspberry is.
I thought you were talking about
We're
blackberry.
talking about
Oh, I'm
food.
sorry. You know what? I'm an idiot. It's a blackberry, not a raspberry.
When did they name a phone after a raspberry? I'm like, did I miss something?
It's the one you
Does it
work.
smell-
It's the one you work with your tongue instead of your finger.
Does it smell funny? What the fuck is that smell?
It's my phone. It's a
It's my
raspberry.
new raspberry. Oh.
Wow. Oh my God.
What are you doing now? The roundabout.
I don't know.
No, Rick needs a BlackBerry. It's got the screen, but then it's got actual keys you can press.
Yeah, it's like having a,
I'm-
yeah.
I'm gonna
It's like
stick
having
with
a
my flip
laptop
phone.
that fits in your
Right,
hand.
right.
And the good news is they quit making them about 40 years ago, so it'd be right. It'd be good. You'd be able to get them at a
Be
good
right up my
price.
technology alleyway.
Right.
No, I like the flip phone, man. I ain't changing.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right. Murphy's Law.
I was all excited when I bought my first bag phone. I thought I was the cats, man. I cruising around in my car, having the bag phone, having it mounted onto the dashboard.
Those are worth some money now, too.
Yeah, I got rid of it.
Yeah, well.
Well, I
Look at it.
remember
Cool.
when my dad first got his first smartphone, man, he's like, watch this. Walgreens near here. He's like, look, it's telling me. I'm like, oh my God, Dad. But he loves it. But he's like, tries to be hip. He's like on his computer. He does,
Right.
But my mom Googles everything, but this is how she
Yeah, I
Googles
gotta get
something.
going too. I gotta go to bed.
Go to bed.
Do you have an
There you go,
emoji
guys.
for that?
We're going to bed.
Yeah, it's called this.
Wow.
Yeah, fingers are flying tonight, man. That's a good
I gotta
thing.
go. I gotta work tomorrow morning, so
That sucks.
Happy
Yep.
trails.
5 a.m.
Oh, man.
Yep.
By
What
the
do you
time you get
like?
this,
What do you do, Mike?
Warehousing.
Oh, okay. So do you work
Inventory.
like 6 days a week, or it's like a weird schedule?
It's Tuesday through Saturday.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of
Hey.
a different schedule.
you run a
Speaking of
fork truck and shit?
warehouses,
Not anymore. I just
No.
sit behind the computer and finger numbers.
Oh, you got the Maytag
Just-
repairman job.
Do you
Your
search
finger.
for emojis?
Yeah.
That's a great job, man. I had
I do
that
a
at Lockheed Martin second shift when I was in Florida. I'd come in and put 2 or 3 parts away and YouTube the rest of the night with coffee.
My
Government
daughter's boss
contract.
just called her tonight and said, hey, what do you think about making $1 more an hour? She's like, okay. He goes, well, how about 2? She's like, okay. Well, what do you think about 3? This kid. I'm like, whatever. And that's a warehouse, guys.
Oh, there
I
you
can't
go.
believe it.
Yeah, I just I'll be there 15 years next Sunday.
Well,
Wow.
congratulations.
Pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you get Monday and Tuesdays off?
Sunday and Monday.
Oh, that ain't bad. That ain't
No.
bad. You get the football days. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
You
It's
need
pretty,
a decompressing day.
it's pretty easy work. Pretty easy work.
That's good.
Except when the auditors are calling you, asking you, why'd you do this and why'd you do that?
Oh yeah.
Why,
They can- those auditors can be mean.
oh, man, I won't even get into it, but
I worked at Lockheed and I miscounted a part or something, and that's a cardinal sin when you're working like that.
and they don't
And,
stop asking questions either.
Well, the lady in charge of all that, she was a sergeant in the Army back in the day, and she scared the hell out of me, man. Just looking at her, she'd bark, you know? And she peeked her head down the aisle and she goes, Richard. I said, yes. She goes, you check your emails yet? I go, no. She goes, check them. I said, oh, Jesus. So I did it. And they said, yeah, I was off by about $185,000.
Wow.
Yeah. She asked me why I did it. And I says, I really don't know, but I'll never do it again. Yeah.
That's a
Shit
good,
hits the
honest
fan.
answer.
Yeah, shit hits a fan when you do that. Huh?
All right, well, it's been a slice.
All right,
Yeah.
I think we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up.
Okay, so are you guys gonna do this every other week or every week?
Well, why does it matter? You're only in for 20 minutes.
That's why I'm asking, dickwad.
Boo.
Oh,
Edit that.
What are you guys up for? I mean, every
That's a
week would be
compliment.
fine with me, but I don't want to overdo it either.
no,
I
right.
can go for some sliders right now.
We've run out of topics.
So okay, no, well,
No,
we
we
won't
haven't run out of topics.
No, I don't think we'll ever run out of topics.
No, not with
Well,
this
Mike,
group.
you could just join us every other week.
What
Basically,
are you now, the
Gina's,
editor?
Gina's saying, Mike, you're not really important, so we don't need you
All right.
anyways.
No,
Is Gina the
we
new
don't wanna
producer of the show?
overwhelm him.
Our next topic is going to be about our weddings. Who came and who didn't.
Oh, that's a good one.
At the wedding or to the wedding?
Or
Either
after
one.
the wedding?
During,
Who-
before, after.
Who we didn't invite because we just thought was too much of a spaz.
Or
Right,
suck, yeah.
Right. Well, I'm
You
just gonna
suck.
shut up because I had a big wedding and I don't think any of you were there. So
I
I'm
didn't
probably
get to go to yours, Gina. Yeah, that's right. So there.
The horror stories of the wedding.
Mine,
Yeah.
I only had like 20 people.
I have a good story about mine.
Do you? All right, that'll be the next show.
All right.
The horrors
right.
and terrors of marriage.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
All right,
See ya. Peace.
Uh-oh.
Be safe.
have a good one.
Talk to you
Good
guys
night.
later. Thanks
All right.
for showing up. Even if you were late.
Real late.
You told me that you love me.